is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's the Dan Kapla Show. Afternoons 4 to 6.
This topic may give stoners a heart attack. Stunning new data on how dramatically marijuana use can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, you can call us there. You can call us at 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466 as well. And that's a number that reaches us 24/7. You can leave a message there with a number, and we will get back to you and get you on the show without you having to hold a long time. I'm also up on LinkedIn messaging and Nextdoor messaging and YouTube, of course. Our YouTube morons know how to get in touch with me, so become a YouTube moron, and we'd love to make you part of that family. You have to be a moron, but that's pretty easy for most of you. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Again, let me go to the phones. John Fuller's with us, personal injury attorney, and we'll talk some interesting things about personal injury. First and foremost, did you know that every year personal injury claims grow? I bet you knew that, didn't you, John? Didn't you?
In what respect?
Well,
number of them,
the number
or
of claims and the number of the amount of dollars.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, in this era of just rampant inflation and stuff, every single thing that would go into the computation of damages has gone up. Medical services, lost wages, everything, to the extent that all of those things go up, you would expect for the value of damages to go up as well.
But the number of claims have gone up too. But here's what's interesting. The number of claims have gone up, but the number of accidents and fatalities have gone down.
That's an interesting deal. I've not heard that before, but just right off the top of my head.
Do you know who this is from? This is from my Deputy Chat.
Your old buddy GPT or somebody?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
How come minimums haven't gone up then?
Well, that's a great question, but mostly because...
What do you mean by that? Oh, minimums meaning the required minimums?
I can't even think of a new car that costs less than $25,000, and isn't that the minimum? Forget about the personal injury side.
No, Mark, that's personal. You're talking about personal injury liability.
15? 15 grand, yep. I mean, what it really does is it makes it to where, it's just inconceivable that the other guy's insurance is going to be enough to cover your property damage. Every single claim is going to get into your own.
Uber for a few months.
Yeah, the average bodily injury claim. Now, John, it distinguishes between, I don't understand this, between bodily injury and personal injury. What does that mean?
There's really no difference between those two in my mind.
I think Deputy Chat made a mistake here. By the way, I love artificial intelligence for certain things, and it really isn't art. To call it artificial intelligence, I mean, it's a remarkable tool, but it's really a sophisticated
search engine.
Who's doing that? Is that Shannon's idea of a joke? Is that your idea of a joke,
Maybe your
Shannon?
chat was a little gassy.
Yeah, that's the old modem sound. I don't even think most of our old fart audience would know that, but young people would not even know that sound. They don't even know what that is. Or a fax machine sound. Does anyone even use fax anymore? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's go to the phones. Dorian is on the phone. I have Brad O'Brien, and he's another attorney we have. He does real estate. John does personal injury. We have real estate. We have a lot of experts. We love them. Brad is going to weigh in on this problem with Dorian.
Hey, can I interject something, Tom?
Yeah, and
So
how long ago was this Dorian's call, though?
Not that long ago.
All right,
But
go ahead.
Here's the deal. She had a whole bunch. She owns a condominium. She had a whole bunch of problems with leaking, etc. And
Sunnyvale in Longmont. I see the call now.
So the HOA says it's the management. The management said it's the HOA. So I wanted Brad to answer whether or not if they've had the notice for a year and they haven't done anything, can she have it fixed and then bill them or take it away from her HOA dues?
No. Well, first of all, the biggest mistake she can do is take stuff away from her HOA dues. It's not like a landlord where you can do a constructive eviction. I just want to explain this to Brad O'Brien. It is really what it is this. The water spot in her kitchen, she noticed, and they won't fix it. She doesn't know where it's coming from. Dorian, did you trace it to the roof? Are you on a top floor? Where are you located in your condo?
Excuse me. I'm on the lower level. It's a 3-story building, and I'm on the lower level. Then the person that would live above me has a 2-level condominium above me.
Okay, got it. So they have the roof over their unit.
Yes.
And the way it works, when there's storms and stuff, the HOA fixes the roofs, or does each one take care of it?
This is not a roof problem.
What is it?
So I have been told by a professional construction company, and I reached out to them and asked that they provide me their documentation. The gentleman that's been here for over
let's get
a
to the
year.
Let's get to the part where they told you what it's from.
It's from something decomposing or just literally wearing out, or the lack of improper flashing.
Well, then that's a roof
upstairs.
problem. If there's a flashing problem, that's a roof problem.
No. It is where his deck runs into his
Okay,
wall.
it's the decking flashing, deck flashing, or window flashing, or siding flashing. There's all kinds. You're right. There's all kinds of flashing. They think it's coming from his deck.
Yes.
How did they
absolutely.
determine that, Dorian?
Well, I have had as many as 4 to 5 people here looking at it.
Did they look at his deck, is what I'm asking.
Absolutely.
Good. And they saw there was no flashing there.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, that's really good, by the way, because at least we know the area of problem, the problem area. What I want to know is, did you tell the HOA it was the flashing on his deck? Because they need to fix that, not him. I think it's their responsibility. What did they say?
I have documentation from March of 2023.
No, I just need to know, did they respond to you? Did you tell them about it?
The construction company and the management company, 2 employees from the management company and the construction company.
I guess the answer is going to be no. They did not respond to you?
Told them yes.
They have not responded to you on that?
Oh, they respond to me. The last thing they did, and I think I have sent.
Can you tell me what they
you.
said, Dorian? Can we get to that part? What exactly did they respond to you?
It's the same response.
Can you give me that response, please?
The HOA will not make a recommendation or vote on it, and they say it's in the hands of the management company, and the management company
the HOA
says
instructs the management company. See, I don't understand this. And Doc, when you said it's between those two, they're not 2 separate entities. The management company works for the HOA. Doc, did you talk to the management company?
I don't have my notes, but I think I did, didn't I, Dorian? And they never responded.
I've never had any correspondence from anyone there since with Tom.
Okay, what is the name of the management company?
Sentry, Sentry. When you and I spoke the first time, you looked up some of their reviews.
Yeah, they were terrible.
While we were talking.
Okay. This is a clear-cut case. I don't know what to do in cases like this. Brad O'Brien, you know, this whole condo townhome nightmare thing, you know, knowing what I know now about how they're formed and how loosely they're formed and how difficult it is to get anything done, I will never own a townhome or a condo again, ever. Not unless I can control the entire, and it's a co-op, and I have a voice in it, and there's a few owners. I mean, Brad, when you're a homeowner and you're stuck like this, and the HOA is ignoring you, and the management company's ignoring you, what the hell do you do? I mean, without spending a ton of money.
Well, you got to be persistent in demanding that people take responsibility for what they're required to do for maintenance and repairs.
Right, exactly, and they're not. And you know, didn't that seem puzzling to you when when the HOA says, "Well, we can't do anything. It's in the home. It's in the hands of the management company."
Well, that's what they've hired the management company to do, to handle things like this.
Exactly. So if the management company doesn't handle it, you know what? We did try calling that management company and they didn't respond. Let's give their number out. I think people should let them know. And I think what we ought to also do is tell everyone about this management company and how they suck. What's the management? I'm really tired of management companies. They collect money and they do nothing. What's the number? Do you have the number, Doc, that you called over there?
I don't. Dorian should have it.
Do you have the Sentry's number?
I'm trying. I should have had this in advance, but
go get it. Go get it. Okay. All we can do is put pressure on Sentry, and I don't blame you for being frustrated. It is unfrickin' believable how many times people have to. I don't know. They have to pray that their management company pays attention to them. And your HOA are a bunch of idiots. If they don't understand, they're the ones that hire the management company. Who's the president of your HOA? Who is that moron?
The president currently is not the same president as when I purchased this place. The president now is the owner of the condominium above me.
The one with the bad deck?
Yes.
You know, I want to ask something. And I want to ask Brad and John Fuller. John Fuller does personal injury, but he knows where I'm going with this. Would she have an action against that owner upstairs if his deck has the water intrusion, or is he shielded by the HOA? Brad?
Well, the condo declaration is going to say what components of the building are the responsibility of the unit owner to repair and replace, and which components are the responsibility of the HOA to repair and replace, like roof, walls. So what I don't know at this time is the flashing on the deck, is that going to be in the declaration something that the unit owner above has to pay for, or the HOA? So we really
I suspect it's the HOA, but
because it's outside. That's why I cannot legally repair it, because it is outside of the interior of my condominium.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Brad, if you were living there, what would you do? Faced with the same exact situation. You're living there. The guy upstairs is the president of the HOA. His deck is leaking into your kitchen.
Well, number one, investigate where's the source. Sounds like we have that. Number two, look at the declaration and find out who specifically is responsible for the leak coming in through the flashing of the deck.
And then when you find out who's responsible, then what?
That's when you make a demand to that party who's responsible. It's not clear at this point if the demand should be to the HOA or to the owner above.
And I think she made the demand to the HOA, and I think that's what it's going to turn out to be. Did you literally go to a meeting of the HOA, Dorian?
I generally attend most of them, which they have a monthly meeting on the first Tuesday. Well, they change it, but it's usually the first Tuesday
when you try to speak to them, what do they say?
It's online, and I'm always there.
Right, we need to take a break. Here's what I want to do. Doc, call this guy personally. Call this HOA president personally. Call him and say, look, you guys have a responsibility. What do you want? What are you doing?
Tom, that's a good idea. I never thought of that.
Let's just call this president. You
Yeah.
live upstairs. Why don't you bring this to the board? And don't let him tell you it's the management company's responsibility, because they hire and control the management company. We have more coming up.
Hey, Dorian.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Genesis Total Exteriors.com. Genesis, they do roofing and siding, and they can do stucco and fix stucco. They can install stucco or upgrade you to stucco if you have an insurance claim on your siding. They can do windows and doors and decks and painting. Genesis Total Exteriors.com. The people I've known and trusted for many, many years. And it's a company that you can trust as well. Here's the number, and you can get all your storm damage done by one company, Genesis, on one invoice, Genesis. 303-679-8509.
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Suze, when you get the name and telephone number of the person who lives above you, text it to me at my phone number. So I need the name of the guy and his phone number, and I'll give him a call.
But I didn't find him to particularly have.
We'll talk later. But regardless, I'm shocked there was no conversation. That's not cool.
I wish that there had been more when we did that little couple 3-day thing that we did before. Hey guys, Donald come do this. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the highest rate. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased to 17%. I keep forgetting I can't text you on a freaking Apple device.
How does mine come into you?
It comes in, but it'll only come in as a text. Like it won't come in on the iPad or the computer.
You know why? Because he has a moron phone.
Yeah.
Where she can do all of her. She's got an iPhone.
Right.
Yeah, he's got one of those. He's got one of those moron phones.
Nobody listening to you.
Have him. I want him to listen to me. God damn it.
Well, then get your ass down here.
He has a moron phone.
I'll tell him to put his headphones on.
Tell him he has a moron phone. That's all he has to know.
Nope. Nobody's listening to you.
Nah.
Tom, can you hear me?
Yes.
What?
Okay. I'm working on your tax stuff.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Just so you know.
They just need those reports, right?
Yeah. I'm getting everything in a folder. Do you want me to send them to you to upload, or do you want me to upload them?
Well, did they give you the portal?
I can't remember if I have it or not. They gave me an effing list.
Here, let me put it to you this way. If it's difficult for you, don't worry about it. If it's easy for you, do it. If not, just send it to me.
Just send it to you and you can upload them?
Yep,
Okay.
whatever they want.
I just want you to know I'm working on them.
Okay, thanks. So it's up to you. Don't take a lot of time on that.
Alrighty. Mark, we got to get an appointment with Mallory soon.
God,
are you hearing me?
I hate these.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I know it's the crappy time of year.
It's horrible.
And now it's almost all the time.
It's like it never ends.
I know.
Really.
Around Christmas, a lot more people are suicidal, but I get.
What's pissing me off too is all the money we pay to the feds. All I'm doing is paying off other people's student loans at this point.
You're right. You are.
You're such a
I
giver,
was thinking about
Mark.
that this morning when I saw that, that detailed explanation of how in the hell he's actually trying
He's a sneaky son of a bitch.
Who is?
Biden?
Biden. How he's paying off these student loans.
Oh, for votes.
Someone's trying to stop it right now.
Yeah,
for votes.
Governor of somebody that's doing it. Ohio, I think, or somebody that.
Votes. Buy votes.
Well,
They've been doing it for years.
Exactly. It's almost like the Obama phone model, you know?
Has he? Is this going to be taken to the?
I would
Supreme
take
Court
10 Obamas over Biden.
Yeah, but it's the free phone
No, I know.
mentality of, you know.
Is that some sort of 3/5 joke, Tom?
What?
Huh?
Some things fly higher than others, you know?
Oh, hey, listen, not every game winner can be a home run. Sometimes it's a dribbler up the middle.
That's right.
Sometimes
Infield
it just
single,
gets
you know?
between Buckner's legs and you win it all.
Troubleshooter show.
All right, coming back for more excitement.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Okay, so let's continue here, and we'll have Scott, who has a problem with blood work at UC Health. Scott, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, it's not really so much of a problem, but first I'd like to thank you and your team for all you guys do to advocate for us consumers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you. So just briefly, I just wanted to convey some information that may be of interest to your listeners regarding medical billing, okay?
Yeah.
So I recently received a bill for diagnostic lab work that was a lot higher than previous billings, about 4 times, just for routine diagnostic lab work.
Okay.
So I'm a healthy male in my 60s. All I need each year is just an annual wellness visit and a blood draw with the associated lab diagnostics. What was different this time was that my primary care physician of many, many years had recently moved his practice to a UC Health clinic. All right? Prior to my visit, I called and asked what the process is for the blood draw. They basically, told me come in the office. It's just like the same as my doctor did for, years past. Well, no difference there. What I didn't ask them was what lab they used for doing the diagnostics, and that turned out to be important. So after the first visit with my doctor at UC Health, I received a bill for the diagnostic lab work for over $400, which is a lot higher than previous lab work.
What were the
done for
previous?
lab
How
work.
much did the previous ones cost?
Well, so I'm on a high deductible plan, and so typically about maybe $100 for the labs.
Typically about how much? About 300?
No, 100.
Oh, I'm sorry, 100. You said okay. Go ahead. So $100 compared to 4 times as much is a lot more. But did they do more testing?
No, it was the same testing. So although my very first instinct was to call you, Tom Martino, the troubleshooter, and then rage at you over this bill, right? Instead, I decided to take a look at the EOBs. Estimation of benefit from this visit and the previous ones, where LabCorp did the diagnostics.
By the way,
right?
hold on, Scott. A lot of people don't bother doing this, and it's a good idea, but I want to ask you, is this affecting you because you have to pay this in your high deductible plan, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, keep going. What happened then?
Okay, well, anyway, so when I examined the EOBs, what I found was that, at first I thought, well, UC Health is just gouging me on the cost of these procedures. That wasn't the case. They charge roughly to the insurance the same amount that LabCorp does. But what was difference was, or where there was a big difference, was in the negotiated rate between the labs and the insurance. And that's what resulted in this $400 bill.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They normally don't charge that much except for insurance?
So typically, if you look at an EOB, you'll see that the service provider, in this case UC Health, will have an amount billed. Let's say it's like $200. And then the insurance will say, well, here's the negotiated amount that we're going to pay. So it's an amount of that $200 that is an agreement between the provider and the insurance on how much is payable.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And then, of course, if I have the deductible, that's the amount that I pay, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of negotiated between my insurance and LabCorp had been about between 10 and 30% of the billed amount. In the case of UC Health, it was more like 40 to 50%. So when you add that up over, 5, 6, 7 procedures, diagnostic procedures, well, it adds up to like $400.
Okay, but I'm still not. What? Okay. You're telling me that the test costs exactly the same, but when you go through UC Health, it's more than when you go through someone.
Yes, because my insurance, the negotiated acceptable rate that my insurance has negotiated with UCL is much higher than with LabCorp.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah,
so they're allowing UC Health to charge more, basically.
Yes, exactly.
But is UC Health making a markup on this blood work?
I don't know. I mean, probably.
Well, how much are they being charged for it?
Well, like I said, what I found was when I compare the amount that UC Health bills for any of these procedures against LabCorp, they're about the same.
No, I get it. So here's what I'm asking. UC Health is doing their own work there then?
Yes.
Okay.
They have their own lab.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I get it.
Okay.
And guess what? I guess this is not new in the world of insurance. What I thought you were telling me was that they were both being done by LabCorp, but one was going through UC Health. You're saying UC Health has its own negotiated rate and LabCorp has its own negotiated rate. If you went direct, they would be roughly the same.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
how much would it be if you went direct, by the way?
If I went to LabCorp, about $100.
No, direct as a person walking off the street. Do you know?
No, I did. Well, oh yes. For UC Health, the procedures would have been $681.
Okay. So you did get some benefit. It's just a pain in the ass. Yeah. But there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, that's the way insurance works. John Fuller, by the way, with personal injury, doesn't it work much that way when it comes to negotiated rates with anything? Don't you find that in MedPay?
Well, that's a battle we fight all the time with MedPay. And so, here's the thing. The only reason you have repricing and stuff that goes on in the medical business is because there are contractual relationships between the providers and the insurance companies.
Right, exactly.
If that contract doesn't exist, then there's no mechanism for that insurance company to reprice that bill. So one of the challenges we had, at least early on in the process, was, and Mark can attest to this, was they would bill these exorbitant rates for things that they never actually intended to receive a cash payment for, and they would submit that to MedPay, and MedPay would actually pay the entire bill. So instead of the $600 that your health insurance may pay for the MRI, the hospital was receiving $2,400 because that's simply what was billed to your medical payment. So it's a challenge that we've dealt with forever.
So that's weird. So you're telling me if they bill MedPay, they want more than if they bill your insurance?
Well, certainly, yeah. They're greedy just like everybody else. They recognized early on that if they managed to submit that bill to MedPay early on, that they could get paid 100 cents on the dollar versus what they had contractually agreed upon.
Are you able to negotiate that?
Well, not after they receive the money. You're not.
So when we walked into the ER, when Addie got rear-ended, John was her attorney, Tom. Soon as you give that car insurance information, the hospital asks for it, they go after that MedPay as fast as they possibly can.
Yep.
It's crazy. So really, I hate to say it, the best way is you don't give, and I tell me if this is bad advice, but you don't give your auto insurance to the emergency room because they're going to be first in line for that MedPay, and there's no questions
asked. Is that right,
asked.
John? Would you use your health insurance instead?
Oh, if you have an option, absolutely. I would far prefer for every single bill to go through a repricing entity like a health insurance or a Medicaid or somebody before we apply the medical payments coverage.
And what do you use MedPay for?
We use MedPay for deductibles, co-pays, out-of-pocket expenses, all those things.
Even if you have insurance, so you can still use MedPay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we use it to pay back the subrogation that your health insurance wants.
Unbelievable. This is
we
great.
Get the lower price.
This is great information. Scott, by the way, I know that's not why you called, but here's what I want to ask you, Scott. You said you want to get the word out. My question is why? What can we do? We can't do anything about it. And I mean that facetiously. Why?
Yeah, no, and really, I'm not expecting you to do anything about this. My point and the takeaway is that to your listeners, as consumers, we tend to be focused on what coverages our insurance provides. Is this procedure covered? Is that procedure covered? But we need to also be very aware of negotiated rates between the insurance and the medical providers, especially in situations like mine where, I changed from one lab provider to another. So it's
Scott, I feel for you, but I mean, a lot of us that have gone through anything like that know that. Hey, Tom, look at line 1. He says he's got info.
Okay. We will come back and talk about this. He works at a lab. He's going to talk to us about that. I'll go to him and more coming up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplan today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Verdict with Ted Cruz Podcast.
A couple roadwork projects throughout the Denver Metro and beyond, causing some slowdowns for drivers. Starting through Commerce City, I-270 westbound at Vasquez. Roadwork in the right shoulder has slow driving back from I-70. We're seeing a 10-minute delay. Heading out west into the high country, I-70 westbound approaching at Genesee Park. Slowing continues with a left lane closure due to road crews. We're seeing 23 minutes of delays through the roadwork. I-25 north and southbound, no complaints through town. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies, another warm one today. High 63, overnight low of 32. Tomorrow, scattered showers with a high of 59. The current temperature in Denver is 46 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
I'm Ben Ferguson. And I'm Ted Cruz. Hundreds of illegal immigrants overrun National Guard at the border, and the cartels have an air force of tens of thousands of drones.
We give you all the details. Download Verdict with Ted Cruz now wherever you get your podcasts.
Certified financial planner Joe Chiano is going to have this movie event for the second time, but this is going to be at AMC Southlands, and that'll be April 9th. So mark your calendars, April 9th. It's 7 in the evening. Get your complimentary tickets here. It's mymoneymyway.com. Free tickets, but you have to sign for them. There's only like 140 of them. And this movie outlines retirement, getting ready for retirement, and the baby boomer dilemma. There's so many people retiring. Money is scarce, and this explains the entire dilemma people are facing. And the good news is there are things you can do about it. So that's mymoneymyway.com. Now let's talk about RKC Automotive. There's something you can do about your car, too. You can get value, and you get honesty and integrity. He's a great guy. Ramondo, you'll find that out. I'm getting rave reviews on him. RKC Automotive for old and new cars, foreign and domestic, any kind of a problem, light or heavy maintenance. RKC. You can find him on Facebook, RKC Automotive. He's on Evans, west of Tejon, 720-749-3965.
Yep.
Good point.
So that's the way I look at it. I understand your perspective on it, but you just can't point to a significant majority of people that are actually paying you $5,000 for that service. If they're paying cash, they're going to come in and want a cash discount anyway, and
Right.
you'll certainly offer that. So you really don't have anybody other than the MedPay anomaly that are actually paying $5,000 for that service.
That sucks.
Nobody is listening to you.
You know what? I'm getting a little tired of
I will
this.
freely admit that.
I'm getting tired of you. I'm getting tired of everybody. I'm tired of the whole damn world.
I understand. Oh, it's definitely the system's rigged against
Because
you.
technically, I was supposed to have...
Tommy's trying to talk to everybody.
I know.
He's
Nobody
trying
wants
to be
to
a
talk to
part.
me. He's going to say...
I keep forgetting.
Lonely old
I'm
man.
just reminding you.
At home, I just put up on
Take
the
a
monitor.
look at my life. I'm alive.
Not to mention,
you.
Doc, I
Who
mean,
knows where it
no
was.
one can hear shit.
So we just didn't
Well,
have
it's
an
like two
interpreter.
old guys fighting over the remote at the day room at the freaking home.
Or the
home.
turkey leg at the Thanksgiving
It's
dinner.
my turn to watch Judge Wapner.
Yeah.
And being a single, practitioner is so far under the radar that unless somebody specifically complained, which they wouldn't do because they don't know the rules, I didn't feel uncomfortable.
That
doing
helps,
that.
too. I had the damn monitor up.
Oh, yeah.
The first language your baby's going to hear is going to be English.
Well, and Doc in there's talking about how he won the Golden Speculum 7 years in a row.
Ugh.
Best Doc in the biz. The Funky Spelunker. Had a sister who used to do laser hair removal down there on women, and Doc would probably agree with this observation that my sister had. She said she'd occasionally say to these women, "Huh, wow, and you have such a pretty face."
It's like the old Larry the Cable Guy things that would always start with "my sister."
My sister.
Did you say funky spelunker?
Uh-huh. Which is the medical term for gynecologist.
I understand.
I figured out a hack for the parking system in downtown with the. Did you see the Park by Phone app?
You could drive
They're everywhere, man.
Once you drive a UPS truck, you can park anywhere.
Manitou Springs.
Can I tell you
What's
how
the
you
other
do
one?
it, bro? Can I tell
Idaho
you?
I
Springs.
know you like a man or two.
Let me tell. Okay, I'm going to tell everyone how to hack it.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
tell.
Do tell.
Seriously.
As the tickets come rolling in.
You want to know how to do it?
Yeah. Don't park.
You're the
No.
reason there's a Denver.
man.
Pull your
boot.
license
You
plate.
have. Hold on. You have cameras you have cameras on your car that you can monitor, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you're at a restaurant and you're parked at
Yes.
one of those pay by phones, and you know the number that accesses that area, and you have your driver, so you can literally renew, or you can renew from the table. If you put in an hour and you need to, you go in and renew. But you can also activate from the table. So when you see anyone in the area, like a cop or something, from your cameras,
but don't you think those parking areas have cameras on them?
I don't know.
But you're talking about the street, right?
All they care about is that you're paid by the time they drive by. They want to make sure you're paid.
I doubt that.
What do you
No,
mean?
I'm
you doubt
just
that?
thinking of the one in Idaho
I think
Springs.
if they drive up, Tom, and the little meter is flashing red, you're guilty. They're going to
You're
start
not,
writing
you're
the
not
ticket.
going to let it
There's no
flash
meter.
red. You're going to see them.
It's where you
my
sign into
camera
the
can see a
app
few
and pay.
cars
There we go.
back.
630 K-How.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713 Talk. WaterPros.net, the best water systems, the lowest prices. I say it every day because I mean it. I love my coffee because of it. Well, I don't get it just for your coffee, but listen, great water is hard to come by. It truly is. Even bottled water has nanoplastics in it. You can get a whole system at your kitchen sink. Doesn't even require electricity. It's reverse osmosis, triple filter. 303-862-5554, and it's just $1,400, fully installed, a fraction of what you'll pay at other places. Now, that's waterpros.net. Jerry says he has some information. The guy said, look, I'm tired. UC blood work charges about the same over the counter for their blood work as LabCorp. But when you go there through your insurance, it depends on what insurance you have and what they negotiate. So you end up paying more as a patient, depending on the negotiated rate. And everyone seems to be saying, "Duh, we know that." It does seem unfair, though. It really does. I don't know why. It feels unfair to me, even though I'm all for free enterprise. They ought to just charge a charge and be done with it. And I'll tell you that this really is unfair. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example. But, Jerry, go ahead. You say you have info on that.
Yeah, hi, it's actually Terry. I'm out of Alaska. I've called in a few times.
Yes, Terry.
I work for the other largest lab, which is Quest Diagnostics. And so I think there's a big misunderstanding here with this. I get this all the time. So what happens is these are CPT-driven test codes, which is a billable code. You have to wait for the process to go completely through because with labs, we are contracted with all these insurance companies, and sometimes Quest is preferred, LabCorp is preferred, or we're both preferred, which means lower out-of-pocket. We're always going to be much less than the hospitals or the clinics because we're the biggest labs in the world. We have that negotiating power. But when you get an EOB, I get this all the time. They call and say, hey, this bill's so much higher. Let it go through the CPT process. Give it another 60 days,
and that's where the discounts come off. The discounts aren't going to come off right away because it has to go through a process because you have your diagnosis codes. Everything has to be in alignment with diagnosis. Then if that diagnosis isn't correct, the insurance won't cover it, but then the provider can add more diagnosis codes and we can rerun it through. So there's a lot of different scenarios, but patients need to be patient because we do provide the best discounts when it comes to labs if it's going to the send-out lab like Quest or LabCorp. If you get that same test done at the hospital, you're paying 10 times the higher amount. But that's where we get the bad rap. Because we're contracted with the hospitals for send-outs, a lot of hospitals do their own lab work in-house. So I would say tell them just to wait, let it go through the CPT code process. Don't look at the EOBs. That's the explanation of benefits. Let the discounts come into play, and then you'll get a final bill.
Okay, so Terry, I want to ask a couple questions on this. Are you saying, though, working at where you work, do you charge different amounts depending on who comes in for the blood work?
It depends on their insurance. So if you and I have both, let's just say Aetna, I might pay more out of my, each month to get a lower deductible, to have a lower responsibility for my family.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not talking about that. I am asking if a patient goes in there with one type of insurance, XYZ, and another person goes in there with ABC insurance, are those two insurance companies billed the same or differently?
Like with your bigger insurances, typically it's the same because we're negotiating with the larger insurances like your United Healthcare, Aetna's, Blues, all that kind of stuff. But if it's a smaller one and let's say they don't want to negotiate, then they typically are going to have a higher rate.
But why? For the same work? I'm just curious. Why?
Because Quest wants, it's all about business. We want the volume. We want to be.
I get that. But that's like really and truly. So what you're saying is if a customer comes to you, me being the health insurance company, and they can bring you 20,000 patients as opposed to a smaller company that only brings you a few hundred or 1,000, you're going to give the better price to the volume.
Well, to the ones that's going to commit to it. So it doesn't necessarily
I know what you're saying. That makes sense. In that regard, the volume pricing makes sense for the insurance company. Sometimes, though, it sounds so arbitrary. It just really baffles me how there are so many rates for the same exact procedure. And you know that they're not taking a loss on any of them.
How about when the feds, I think it was the feds that came out and said hospitals had to list prices, and they did that. They passed it, but there's absolutely zero. There's no teeth in it. It doesn't matter.
Okay, we gotta take another break, unfortunately. But we're going to take all of your calls. Scott brought up a good topic with this blood work. Thank you, Scott. 303-713-8255. By the way, before I take a break, I want to tell you 888heating.com is still doing free inspections of your AC, of your furnace, or of your plumbing, or of your electrical system. It's all free because they're launching their plumbing and heating, their plumbing and electric division. They want to celebrate that, and they want to thank the community for their growth. 888heating.com. So get that done, please. And that is free inspections for the asking from an honest company. 303-770-2776.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Woodley's Fine Furniture.
It's a calm drive throughout the Denver Metro after a busy mid-morning on 25 north and southbound, back to highway speeds through town. Up on the northeast end, I-270 westbound, road work continues just after Vasquez in the right shoulder with slow traffic back from Quebec and Northfield. Only a 2 or 3 minute delay at the moment. Out west into the high country, I-70 westbound approaching Genesee Park. That's exit 254. Roadwork in the left lane has slow driving back from Hogback Road. This one's seeing about 10 minutes of delays. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies, warm out there with a high of 63 today, overnight low of 32. Tomorrow, scattered showers, high 59. The current temperature in Denver is 46 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Woodley's Fine Furniture, specializing in handcrafted Colorado-made furniture, custom upholstery, solid wood, and the most comfortable leather furniture imaginable. You will not find better built furniture in Colorado than at Woodley's. Visit woodleys.com today.
And visit the Art of Granite if you want countertops, and you will get prices on the phone right now. You can go to theartofgranite.com to find out more about the company. Tear out and haul away's free. The bathroom's free when you have the kitchen done, or you can choose other incentives like free edge treatment or certain kinds of upgrades or 15% off. Why don't you go to theartofgranite.com, find out about that. Give them a call for your incentive and for your price on the phone. 303-386-5919.
Hello. Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
I am going to try to get some more blood outbound calls going.
Blood outbound calls.
Yeah, more stuff about the labs and shit.
Good. Yeah, we want that.
Well, focus on smaller communities, too.
Okay, so you start a text with two people as an introduction. You know, like, John, this is Doc. Doc, this is John. Then you both have each other's information. Then they start talking, and they don't take you out of the fucking thing. So now every time they ever discuss anything,
I know it. Oh, my God, I know it. I know what you're saying.
Here's the question. What do I say? Do I say, okay, guys, you can talk among yourselves now? How do you politely say,
can't
fuck
you
off?
remove yourself from the group chat? Can't you remove yourself?
You can remove yourself out of a group text.
Well, on Android, not on. Well,
remove
Tommy, for me and you, everyone has to be an iPhone chatter or texter to be able to remove yourself.
I'm going to remove them both.
You really just.
There, I removed them. We'll see.
Your phone just sucks, basically.
Shut up.
Basically,
you know what?
John,
at least
that's
my
the deal.
my phone wasn't built by poor little Chinese kids that work for donuts.
They were built by Taiwanese kids.
Yeah, that make like at least $100,000 a year and drive Ferraris.
I don't think so.
I'll put up my Taiwanese children to your Chinese children any day.
Bring him.
God, here we go.
Mine speak multiple languages.
You know this.
They crochet.
Really?
They can make their own clothes.
Wow.
And build computer chips.
Wow, that's a lot. Makes me want to have an Android, just for the crocheting.
Android sucks.
No, they don't. You suck.
Yeah.
There's always an outlier or two there, Tom, that just...
Okay, well, first of all, I hate to break it to you. There is more Android sold than iPhones, period, end of story.
Because the rest of the world already has iPhones.
You know what's funny is you're comparing one brand to a whole platform. So you're saying Android versus iPhone. Why don't you say Samsung versus
I'm saying
iPhone?
iOS versus Android. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's
Don't put
because
words
iOS
in
is
my mouth.
only made by one manufacturer.
That's right, and because Apple locks everybody out of its iOS. I get it. I understand, and I agree. Apple sucks.
Sure.
Or
that's a company Mark wrote off. Mark said they were going out of business years ago. The number one capitalized company
Microsoft
in the world.
saved their ass.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, they didn't. I know. We'll argue that one.
The number one capitalized company in the entire world, and he said, "Oh, they're going to be going out of business."
I never said they were going out of business.
Back when
said
you were
Bill
at,
Gates
you had Mountain
saved
Peak
their
Computers.
life.
You had Mountain Peak Computers, and you said Apple's going out of business.
The other way around.
I just can't even.
You predicted Apple would be out of business
It's
in
like
5
when
years.
Tom said that Trump would never be president for about a year fucking straight. That's all I heard. Never be president.
And
will
Mark
never win.
said that
Can't
Biden
win.
won't run again.
God. Yes, and we still have 500 on that.
Well, that's what you're claiming.
And we still have almost a year.
Do you two ladies have panty fights?
And
Shut
here's
up,
the other
Doc.
thing. You really believe that Biden is not going to... Dan Kaplan said the same thing, that he will not be the candidate come Election Day.
Yeah, that's correct.
Still a ways off.
Well,
come on. It's months off, not a year.
Well, it's a ways off. Actually, he really wouldn't go in there and take office till,
John,
what, January 15th?
No, you said
6th.
candidate. You didn't say president.
Of course I said, what are you talking about?
You said he would not run.
Oh, my fucking God.
No,
I cannot believe what he's saying.
I was here the day that was done.
30 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Colin, he wants to talk about identity theft. We have some open lines after him as well. We have Skinny on the line waiting. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Colin, what's going on?
Hi, my name is Colin, and I'm calling because I just recently got frauded and have identity theft and was
How did
scammed.
it happen?
So about 3 months ago, I bought a house, and I gave all my information to my mortgage broker and my insurance broker. 2 days later, I had a credit card put my name, bank accounts open my name, bunch of
Wait,
like that.
right after both of those, who do you think did it?
Yes. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think either one did it because obviously they're reputable. They were actually referred to me. So I mean they were trusted, accountable. So that I didn't see, and it was through a business. So I mean,
this was after applying for a loan and buying the home.
No, this was applying for the loan to get the best rate and the best interest rate and the best mortgage.
How many people did you apply to?
2. That just one and one. One for mortgage, one for insurance. That was it.
Mm-hmm. And,
So then 2
how
days
did
later,
you
all that
find out
happened.
about the fraudulent accounts? How did you find out so quickly?
I got an email. Saying, hey, your card's on its way. I didn't get a credit card. So I called the company. It's actually through Wells Fargo is who it was for. I called Wells Fargo. They say, oh, yeah, this was just open. I said, well, it wasn't me. So they canceled it, closed everything down, at which point they said, hey, cool, obviously you have a fraudulent issues. So I went ahead. I contacted the IRS.gov, made that stuff.
Did you put a freeze on your credit? That's the most important thing.
Yes. Yes.
You know what that does, right?
Yes. To where anytime they try to open up anything with my credit, of anything, it denies it.
That's right. So you fixed your problem.
Yes, so that was that. So then 2 days ago, so I haven't had any issues. Obviously, I mean, I saw that they had over 15 accounts open my name. They had over $3,000 of stuff on Amazon and
wait. All of that in just a few days?
That was like I'd say within a month after giving all my information out. But yeah, it was pretty quick.
Did you get it all handled though? I guess I'm missing the question.
Yes, so here's my question.
Yes.
So what happened was 2 days ago, I get a call from the Treasury IRS.
Yeah.
The number was correct. I verified it. Everything was good.
Yeah, but that's
I talked to a
spoof.
lady named
That's spoof.
That's not real,
They're
bro.
not going to call you ever. They're not going to. Hang on, Colin. We need to tell people that because you thought because you saw the number, it was the number. Hang on. We'll talk about it coming up.
Troubleshooter show. What's your first name?
I had this.
Oh, hey,
There's
Chopper,
a
how you
site you
doing,
can
man?
go to. It's called identitytheft.gov, and it gives you all the steps to go through.
Okay,
Tells
what's
you
the
exactly
update
what to
about?
do
Just give me the
with
gist.
identity theft. So
He
I'm
got
gonna-
hit hard at 15 accounts.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell the audience.
The other thing people don't realize you got to do is after, even
Oh,
if
okay.
they
Hang tight,
say
man.
all
Sorry
the
about
banks
that. I
take
couldn't
care
hear
of
you.
it, cancel
Sometimes,
it,
just so
you
you know,
still
Chop,
need to email the 3 credit people,
calls
tell
on the
them
phone.
what happened,
Right.
so it doesn't look like you
I
just
sound
applied
okay
for
to the
100
caller,
credit
the caller
cards.
doesn't sound okay to me. So I just hang up, say, call me back, and hang up, and then usually it's clear. So just so you know, if that happens again, that's what it is, okay? Okay, Catholic Charities and what?
I'm like, was that a goddamn rooster?
So years ago, we're in, I think it
Catholic
was
Charity
Cabo San
Apartment?
Lucas.
Is
Or
that
it might
the
have been
queso?
Cancun. It was in
Okay.
Mexico.
Hey,
And,
Mark.
I mean, we're talking 25 years ago, man. We didn't have a lot of dough. So,
Mark,
instead
Okay,
of,
and
there was
then,
no Uber,
then you
so
have a
instead of a
rant as well.
taxi
Hang
from
tight,
one
man.
hotel to a restaurant, I said, fuck it, we're going to get on the city bus. It's like 5 cents. I mean, literally. We get on there.
Chickens and goats.
At the next stop,
Hey,
this
Mark.
dude gets on with chickens, man. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And I was like, all right, I'm cheap.
Are you
I ain't
getting
that
a blanket?
cheap. There's no way I'm going to
Did you
ride
get a
around
blanket
with
email from
livestock
me?
anymore. And chicken.
Are you talking to me, Tommy?
Never mind. They are not fucking listening.
No, they're not.
Nobody's listening to you.
Fuck them. Fuck them all.
All sorts of farm animals
You
are
can-
strapped to the
Yeah, he's
You
just
can have whatever you
Sorry,
want.
Tommy.
he's just afraid
They're
one of the
just-
sheep is going to recognize him.
Right, exactly.
Oh, God.
It's hard. You don't get to go out on your own terms. You kind of fade away like this.
There.
Yeah, baby.
There you ladies are. Tommy's just always trying to talk to you, so I'll just
Oh.
harass you
Hey,
till you
Mark.
get back on.
Hey, why don't you just come into the studio?
I know.
Go
Because
ahead.
the nursing home won't let me out.
It's past. It goes past 1 p.m.
Did you get a blank email from me?
Jello time.
I did.
I got one. It just looked like I sent you the new bullet points for
And then
KH.
you immediately, okay, I must have an autoresponder on because every single email I get is sending another one out.
Tommy, that whole Eric Reinemer group email, you sent me a blank reply this morning.
You've got something going on, bro.
Yeah, I got to get in there and find out what that.
Oh,
it's
shit.
when I
He's-
gave. It's
all
when-
right, so let me guess now. Somehow the connection's going to drop. The YouTube is going to go off.
Hey, by the way, hold on. While I have your ear, the bet was he wasn't going to be president or he wasn't going to run?
You know what? John happened to be here
Well,
that day.
tell
John,
me what the
I don't
bet
even know how
was.
to argue with the man. Just talk.
What was the bet?
I think the bet was he wasn't going to be the candidate at the time of the election.
Exactly.
Exactly. Which has not happened yet.
That's right.
But he was trying to change it already.
No, you were.
My God!
You were doing that.
No.
You just said the bet was he wasn't going to run. Well, when we made that bet,
he was already
running.
Yeah.
No, that he wasn't going to run come election day is what I meant.
Oh, come on.
You know what?
That's what he. He
it's
made
like
the bet.
the
Mark made the
6-year-old.
bet.
I would.
That's
Mark
got
made the
chocolate on
bet
his
that
face,
he
but
wasn't
didn't eat
going
the
to
cake.
be on the ballot. Let's put it that way. That's what Mark made the bet about.
On the ballot.
Yes.
What do I say?
Mark,
Yeah.
what? Tell me what the bet was then. What
He's
was
not
it?
going to be president.
No, that's
the
not
bet.
what you bet. You said
He is not going to be the nomination for the Democratic Party on Election Day. Maybe that's a good way to put it.
Okay, I agree. That's what you said. He's not going to be the candidate on Election Day. That's right.
Okay.
That's what you said. So, John, you agree with that, right? We were all.
I agree that was the bet.
Right.
Now, what are your thoughts on
I
that?
didn't accept that bet.
If
but-
you had to bet either way, John, which way would you bet?
I would tend to vote with Mark on this one.
Okay.
You really think he will not be? Wow.
I
Do
don't
you
know that
watch
he's
him
going to
walk
make
to the podium.
I don't know that he's going to make pudding time this afternoon.
John.
I think he'll make pudding time.
You know, I've been here for about 5 years
You think
now,
he's a tapioca
and I
guy?
have never seen you guys pay off a bet.
Oh, trust me, Doc. First of all, I've never lost a bet this year.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just saying, I'm the only one that I've seen pay off a bet.
I calculated. Hold on. Let me.
Okay,
let me
I
add
have
up.
smart reply. That
I'm
was
going to
happening.
add up these bets that he owes me for lunch.
You don't know crap. Yeah, look at him. He doesn't know shit.
746 lost bets at an average of $15 a lunch.
Such a liar.
Someone do math.
15 doesn't do it anymore for lunch, bro.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
Oh, I was reading literally, there's a McDonald's that it was $23 for a Happy Meal. A Happy Meal.
This stupid coffee was $11.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They're like, yes, sir.
Remember when Wendy's and McDonald's literally used to have a dollar menu?
Yeah. Yeah, Brownie
It's
today
all
was
Trump's fault, damn it.
Brownie today
I
was
remember
talking
when
about
pizza-
Arby's 5 for $5, and I'm like, I actually remember that, but you can't get a single sandwich for $5 anymore.
No.
Much less 5 of them with drinks and fries and stuff. Come on.
If Suzanne and I go, okay, last night we went to Great Divide in Castle Rock. It's like, it's I don't even know how to explain it, but it's $100 for two people.
Yeah.
You have 2 drinks and you order the entree and you give the tip. I don't care really where you go. It's $80 to $100.
Absolutely.
You know, with just the two of us, we don't make anything at home anymore. So,
Yeah.
Besides the fact that Stephanie doesn't know where the kitchen is, but other than that,
Oh,
we
bless her heart.
we spend at least $100 a day. It's crazy.
No, it doesn't matter if you go out. It's $100. I'll give you this one though. Listen to this, Tom. Most expensive dinner we have ever had was about, what was that? 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Two of us, $700.
Jesus, where was
Must have
that?
been
Where
one
was
nice,
that, Mark?
One nice
It
bottle
was
of
in
wine.
Cabo.
At the Waldorf
okay.
in Cabo.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Yeah, but still, I had no. I knew it was
Troubleshooter
going to
show,
be
what is your first
expensive. I didn't know it was going to be that
Jill,
expensive.
is this Jill and Blake call? Okay, I've been trying to call you guys. Hang on, I'm going to get
So,
Steve
word
Sizik
of
on for
advice:
this. Hang on a few
never
minutes
go
for me,
to
okay?
a champagne bar. Don't do it.
Is it going to be both of you, Jill and Blake, or
Dude,
just
we
Jill?
went. We had like, we were in
Okay, hang tight.
Wailea at the Grand
Pardon
Hyatt
me,
or something
Tommy?
there.
Oh yeah.
I guess you
And,
had a call yesterday for Steve
God
Sizik
knows,
on a
one of my
tax
wife's
call.
co-workers
let me
was
look.
staying at a different
I'm
hotel.
doing.
Came over and had a glass
I'm
of
getting
wine.
it back on today
Oh, you
on
do?
Kelly's
Okay,
list.
'cause I'm trying to figure out where it was. It
$36
was
For the
the
glass of
IRS,
wine.
glass.
Yeah.
of
rejected
wine.
their
I was like-
return. Yeah.
Jill
Got it.
and
'Cause I knew
Blake.
what-
Okay, getting
particularly, I
Steve's
knew exactly what that
Larson
bottle
tax
cost.
release.
And I'm just like, look,
Really,
I don't mind
Larson
getting bent over.
Hey, Mark.
But at least
give me the reach around.
Mark, is K&H,
Yes, sir.
I noticed they have this new window. Do they still have Provia and the
time
other
ago, we
one,
went
Soft
They
Light?
I'm sure they have that line, but they want to focus. That one's Colorado built. I beg you to go to that website I sent you and just do a little
I'm
research.
looking.
I might get
Hey,
that
it's Suze
window.
with Martino. How you doing?
Alpin, huh? Okay.
And we went on a honeymoon. One of my friends.
Made in Colorado.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Dan McKenzie, this is a law firm that does wills and trusts, beneficiaries, deeds, payable on death certificates, what you need for your estate. You call him, he'll help you make a plan, and it's easy to remember his number, but everyone should have at least a plan. He does great person-to-person meetings, quickly, efficiently, gets everything done. McKenzie Law, they're lean and mean when it comes to your estate plan. 833-CO-PLANS. 833-CO-PLANS. The website is coplans.co. By the way, that .co, I don't know where it came from. It's not for Colorado, but everyone uses it for Colorado. I mean, I don't think it was originally for Colorado, but I love it. Like even John Fuller here today, my accident lawyer, .co. It's so cool. But I don't believe that top-level domain was purchased for Colorado, was it, Mark? I don't think it was. I don't really believe that was the original purpose of it, but
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, it was? Do you think so?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like .az, Arizona. I'm pretty sure, yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's cool. Because I remember one time there was a .cc out there. There still is, but a lot of the Clear Channel people at the time were taking it, saying, for Clear Channel .cc, but they adopted it kind of. But in any case, you'll see a lot of websites like that showing up. All right, I want to go to Steve Sizik, who's with Larson Tax Relief, and I want to ask about this problem from yesterday. Now, Steve, we did get, I think, a solution for this problem. Another guy had a similar problem, and he told us how he solved it. But I still want you to weigh in on it. Larson Tax Relief, by the way, these people are great for any tax problems, audits, if you haven't filed in years and years and years and you want to get right. But with Jill and Blake, they simply went to a tax preparer and they attempted to file electronically, and the IRS rejected their return and said that his Social Security number had been used already to file a return. Now, we suspect it might be identity theft, but you must have heard of this before, have you?
Yeah, I dealt with it this morning, actually, with another taxpayer who had a fraud indicator on like a 2019 return. So it happens all the time.
What do you do about it?
There's a couple of different options. There is a fraud, indicator line that you can locate on irs.gov.
Yep, we found that. We gave that to them yesterday.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one's fine, but this time of year, good luck getting a hold of those guys because everybody and their mom's trying to file their returns, and this is something that's fairly endemic. So what I was doing actually this morning, there is local taxpayer advocate, which you can find their line on the irs.gov as well. It's just taxpayer advocate or a form 911, and you can actually call them directly. If you file a 911 request, it's probably for more complex things, you're not going to get a response as quickly. But if you call the taxpayer advocate division whether it's in Denver, they've got them everywhere. They've got them in every
Yeah.
city,
Now they claim that there's a dedicated number just for identity theft. Is that true? That 800-908-4490.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But you're saying it's still hard to get through on that one too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially this time of year. If you wait till after April 15th, you probably have a better chance. Maybe like an hour wait. But it's a function of how much brain damage do you want to suffer through in order to get it addressed.
And
but
they say there's a form you
could
could do too. But here, let me explain though what another person did. Okay.
I was just thinking about that.
The other person said he called up and said it happened to him. And he found out that was because electronically they find out instantly. And instead, he filed by mail. And he said they work it out. They investigate if it's filed by mail. They will not just send it back to you. Is that true?
That guy, in my opinion, just got lucky. Typically, the IRS doesn't do anything on its own. If there's a fraud indicator, they will, for example, for this client I had this morning, they actually deleted the return.
Oh, see, this guy said, you just file it by mail and they'll process it.
No. That's, once again, even a blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while.
Okay.
Apparently he got lucky.
Okay, Steve, and you deal with them way more than we do. So now Jill and Blake, their problem is that what their tax preparer did was took his name off the return and just filed it in her name, but it resulted in a lesser refund than they would have gotten. So maybe what they do is go through the process of getting it corrected and then file a 1040X or an amended return. Would that be suitable?
No, they wouldn't need to amend it. So at the end of the day, the original return was a fraudulent return, which should be deleted. And then they would file their correct, but
they already filed a return now. See, when theirs was rejected because there was a duplicate return somewhere or a duplicate number, they refiled with just her name.
Okay.
Was that the wrong thing to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ideally, you'd want to have the fraudulent return completely deleted from the system, and then have your correct return then processed.
But how do you get their attention to do that?
So if you don't want to wait on the 4 hours, like I said, you can call the advocate. What they'll do is they'll get two forms of ID from you that you then secure to them on a secure uploaded server.
Yeah.
And then they process that through directly to the fraud division, and then that starts the motion, the wheels in motion for getting that fraudulent indicator pulled, any false returns removed, and then that advocate can actually file the return directly for you as well, so that you know that it's getting processed.
So that's
correctly.
A different number than the fraud one.
It is, yeah. So that's the taxpayer advocate. It's called a Form 911, or if you can go on irs.gov, just look up taxpayer advocate, and they've got numbers listed for every division in which they exist and operate.
Okay, so Jill and Blake,
one here in Denver, there's one in Atlanta.
Do that. Go to look for the taxpayer advocate. Right now, you already filed, so I don't think they have a choice. But when they get it fixed, to do an amendment, add Blake's stuff to it, and then they'll get the additional money back. But because they don't have a choice, they already filed.
They were being very proactive, which I commend. But unfortunately, with the IRS, you kind of.
Now I have another question for you. If you hang on, real quick, Colin.
Sure.
Colin, you said that after you bought a home, you said that you were a victim of identity theft, and there were many, many accounts opened in your name. And then you said you got a call from the IRS recently, and you said, it's real because it showed up on caller ID as the real number, blah, blah, blah. It's not real. The IRS never calls you. And here's what I think happened. That people who stole your identity are calling, making believe they're the IRS, and they have enough information on you to fool you. What are they asking you to do?
Well, it already happened. That's the sad part.
Did you pay them?
So $15,000.
Wait, no, Colin. How did you pay them?
Mm-hmm. I put it into an ATM.
Wait a minute,
which I know it sounds ridiculous. I understand.
All right,
but
Steve,
in the moment, it made so much
this
sense.
is happening too, right? The people masquerading as IRS agents. And
Wait, what does that mean? You put it into an ATM?
by the way,
I don't get
can
it.
you put Larson Tax up at not Steve? I just want to give their number out. It's I know it. It's 844 Larson Tax. I want to thank them for being here.
We should give out
844 Larson Tax. Now,
in the future, Tom, we should give out Steve's direct number.
Yeah. Hey, Colin, listen. We need to explore. Honest to God, you lost 15 grand. What did they tell you they were collecting for, Colin?
So basically, I have all the information. Everything was open, right? So I have all that stuff. So they called me. They said, "Hey, my name's Susan. Here's my employee identification number. Cool. This is who I work for. Cool. All right, awesome. Here's my phone number. I verified all that stuff. Cool. Are you calling Million? Yes. Is this your address? Yes. Is this your phone number? Yes. Perfect. Verified who I was. Cool. Now we verified who you are. Here's what it is. We have a package in Amarillo, Texas. Do you know anybody in Amarillo, Texas?" I said, "No." But here's the thing: is I have all the fraudulent stuff has been happening in Amarillo, Texas. So it makes sense.
Well, yeah, they're all the same people, including the woman you're talking to. So what happened then?
Correct. So then what happened then? She said, "Cool. So we have 15 accounts open in your name. The last 3 days, they've moved $500,000 from Mexico to that account in Amarillo, and so we have all the accounts in your name." So she said every single one of them, all 15, and they were correct. The ones that they had were the ones that were actually opened.
Well, so of course, because they were the ones that opened them. Then what?
Exactly. So then at that point, she said, "Cool." So then she said, "My actual account." I said, "Well, that one's mine." I said, "That one is my personal account." She said, "Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, if you don't want it frozen in the next 4 to 5 hours, we have to get you with police, and we have to get you with, and you have to go to the bank, and you have to withdraw money. You need to leave $1,000 in your savings account and $1,000 in your checking account, at which point, when you pull the money, all the serial numbers will be right on the bills." I was like, okay. And at which point, I also had to be on the phone the entire time, was not allowed to hang up, was not allowed to talk to anybody else.
And they said they were from the IRS.
Correct.
Did you suspect at all that the IRS would never do that to you?
No, because I had just been going through the identity theft, which you were just talking about with the last guy.
Yeah, and that's why they sounded so convincing. But here's, Colin, this is really important. So they told you to draw money out, but where does it get to the part where you fed money back into the machine, and where did it go?
So basically, so then they say, "Cool, what you need to do is," they say, "Cool, you need to go to this address to this location." I said, "Okay." So I do that. Said, "All right, inside that building," which is a gas station, by the way. So that was a huge fucking red flag.
Put them on hold, bro. You got to catch that. Did you catch it, Shannon? We got to take a break. Shannon, did you catch it? Please, a yes or a no.
Yes.
Thank you. We have. He said a bad word. I'm going to come back to him, but we have to wait for our delay.
Hey, Tom, can I say something?
As long as it's not effing, yes.
Yeah. No, for anybody that's listening, if you are a victim of identity theft, there's a site. It's called identitytheft.gov. And if you go there, they will go through every step of what you need to do as far as dealing with identity theft.
Yeah, but they're not going to recover his money.
No. This is for people who are listening, not for him. It's too late. But for anybody who's had an identity theft, it will go through every step you need to do so that you're protected as much as possible.
You know what's really funny is this guy said they had all my information, so I thought they were correct. The reason they had all this information, they were the scammers. Hang on, we have more coming right up, and this is such a sad story. Ideal Home Loans still doing home loans with the interest rate guarantee, 303-867-7000. When rates go down, they refinance you free of charge.
Life's a constant swirl of shopping. Groceries, clothes, gifts, the occasional self-care splurge. You know how it is. That's why you should get the Drop app. With Drop, you earn points for shopping and turn those points into gift cards. Last year, I scored $150 in gift cards alone. Make sure to use code DROP23 when you sign up and get $5 in Drop points. That's DROP23. Get rewarded for shopping and download Drop now for free on the App Store or Google Play.
All right. You know, when you are looking for an RV, you want the RV Authority, LazyDays.com. Whether it's new or used, or it's a Class A, or you want a customized van or a fifth wheel, or you want something like a pop-up, whatever it is, LazyDays.com. They also have a service department up north at exit 240 and I-25 along Frontage Road there. What used to be Century RV, our friends are still there. Go see them. And that's along Frontage Road, and it's called Lazy Days of Denver at Longmont, LazyDays.com.
So my had to stay there. I went back to a hotel.
Wash
and
dishes
we had American Express checks, which they took.
Right.
But we used up all the money. We had to call our parents.
Yeah, there's
at the
something you
time
don't hear
and
anymore.
Have them
Right.
wire money to us. But I never would have thought that the
Travelers.
that the nicest restaurant in Vienna wouldn't take American Express.
You know what it looks like to me here? This company, Alpin.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a resurrection. I mean, I'm not saying it's not there was a window manufacturer that was pretty damn good in Colorado at one time, and it looks like they're up in that same area. Maybe not. Maybe it's completely new, but man, that's cool that they're making a window right here.
Yeah, and if you read about it, I didn't know this. What is the gas they put in between the panes?
Argon.
Argon. So if you bring argon very high altitude, it can literally
you
crack
don't even
the
have
window.
them. Yeah, you don't even have it when you get here.
Yeah, so what they have done, if you really read about it, they've created this, I don't even know how to explain it. It attaches to the window, and after
it's
a
an
month...
ultra high performance, they say, some kind of an insert called Windsert.
And then after about 3 weeks, after the windows were installed, you remove that, but it stops the argon from coming out, leaking, or the window cracking.
I thought they just put a little pinhole in it so that if it expands.
Yeah, but then you kill the R factor.
No, that weep hole has nothing to do with the gas part of it. That's a whole different
pressure. It's not that much gas that will leak.
Those windows, they say, are just as good energy efficient wise as your house. In other words, as the siding and the drywall and the insulation.
Are you kidding me? Really? That's what they say?
I had a Zoom with them this morning. That's what they say.
Wait. You talked to the manufacturers themselves?
No, I talked to the guy over at
K&H. We should try to get those window people on the referral list directly. Is K&H their exclusive dealer? Do you know?
I don't know that part.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that window really, I don't think I've ever got excited about a window, but I started reading that website. I was like, wow, that's cool. And it's made right here in Colorado. That's cool, too.
Well, anyway, any window made up here is going to be better anyway for up here, because when you make them at sea level and bring them up here, the gas is pretty much gone when you get here.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
A lot of this on your on this Atlas list they want, it's like vehicle mileage. Some of it either just doesn't apply or I don't have the info.
And we've never
so
given it
I'll
to them
send
before,
you that
have
list.
we?
Well, I just send them the basics, anything that
Okay,
has
I'll
to do
tell
with
'em.
QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And I leave everything. I've always left that kind
Yeah.
of stuff up to you.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Will I know what you did or did not do, though, so I know what to fill in?
You know what? I'll work on that so you know.
Okay.
Who's he talking to?
Your mom.
Ah.
Who are you talking to?
That was quick.
Maybe he's lonely with nobody there to talk to.
Who?
You.
I'm not lonely.
We figured you were just very lonely because you're all there by yourself.
And his houseboy.
Why? Can you see under the desk?
Dak, you heard it on YouTube. You did not hear it over the air, brother.
Yeah.
When you listen through YouTube, it's different. We can say fuck.
Who's that guy that was caught jerking off on a news report? He was one of the...
Oh, he was, what they call it when you're not spanking. It became a verb. What
Yeah.
was his name? Come on, you know this. You follow masturbators, Shannon.
I don't follow
Who was the
them.
guy
I try
from
to perceive
CNN?
them.
Was it Hurley?
He was gelling.
Tubin?
No, what?
Tubin.
Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. All right, so Colin said he was a victim of identity theft, which led to a phone call, and that phone call led to him somehow drawing money out of his account, thinking that he had to do that for security reasons. The people kept him on the phone the whole time, claiming they were from the IRS, and they just played him like a fiddle. So he went and got his money, and then he, tell me how much did they tell you to draw out of your bank, Colin?
They didn't. They just said leave $1,000 in my savings account and $1,000 in my checking
And
account.
what did they say to do with the rest of your money?
They say pull it out in cash,
Then what?
and then you need to take that money and keep the receipts and everything else.
And then go to a
You need to
gas
go to this
station,
location.
which you
Yes.
said before was really suspicious. You used a naughty word, right? And
Yes.
so it was effing
Yes.
suspicious. You said, then what happened?
Yes. So that at which point she said, yes, I know, sir. It looks very suspicious. She's like, we get that all the time. And I mean, anything that I had a slight, but this was weird, she had an answer for immediately, every time.
Colin,
For
what
everything.
did she tell you to
You know?
do with the money?
She said, you need to create an account. I said, so I created an account with my phone number. So I did that. They
What do
sent
you
a
mean
QR
create
code
an
to my
account at
phone.
a gas station?
Yeah, so it's called a Athena ATM. And basically what you do with it, I think, is you can buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
And at no point during any of this, you didn't go, this is stupid.
Yes, I did.
But why'd
But you continued to put the greenbacks into the ATM.
So
Yes, I continued.
Go ahead.
So, yes, I continued to do that. And the whole time it felt iffy, but at the same time, it all made so much sense because the dates, the times, the addresses, they all matched, which made sense because it was the same people, which I didn't even know. And I didn't know that you were able to mask your phone number with somebody else's phone number.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. So then, Colin, they told you to open an account and deposit the money, right? And what did they say was going to happen then?
They said at which point they will make sure all of the numbers match on the bills that go into the ATM match what I pulled out of my bank account. If they do match, within 2 hours, they'll release the funds from the police station, at which the police thing will release the funds, at which point I can withdraw the money.
Okay,
I
so
had to
then,
talk to
okay,
police
so you
first
put
at my
the,
house.
I want to know when you found out it was Sam. So you put the money in, then what?
Mm-hmm. She said, cool, this officer and this officer, there's their badge numbers, and they will meet you at your house at 3 o'clock.
Okay, so
I
you
said,
went home and
"Perfect, thank
waited.
you so much." No, I called immediately after that.
Why?
After she hung up the phone, because it felt weird, but I wanted to verify.
So when
that
you
it
called
was
the
true.
police, what police department did you call?
Adams County Police Department.
You mean the sheriff's department?
Yes.
And what did they say?
And because they said that they had no recollection of anybody calling anybody, and they do not have officers with those badge numbers in their system.
And you knew you'd been ripped off?
Yes, at that point, yes. So at which point I was like, okay, well, I created my own account, so that shouldn't be no big deal. Just pull the money out, no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, the problem was because they had all my information, they had already created my account. So when I created the account, I did create one, but it was already created, so it just sent me my old QR code or my old wallet, which they had access to. I did not.
So they had already
And I
drawn
didn't
the
know
money
that.
out?
Correct. Yes. So it's gone. So
Did
I'm
you
at
try that
$15,000.
that number on your caller ID? Whose number was that?
It's the actual IRS office for the Treasury of.
Okay.
The actual number.
Yeah. So, Colin,
So,
you sound how old are you, by the way?
I'm 29.
That's a lot of money for you to lose.
Mm-hmm. So, but here's the thing. So the biggest reason why I'm calling is to get the word out, because I have never heard of anything like this ever. I've heard of, hey, your
If
mom
you listened to this show,
money,
if you listened to this
No.
show, you would have
Yeah.
known immediately it was a scam.
Yeah.
You would have.
Mm-hmm.
You would have immediately. You would have known.
Yeah.
But I also want to say something that I was shocked about. I actually was having breakfast with someone that I know, that I mentored a little bit, and he and his wife were with me, or not breakfast, it might have been dinner. We were talking, and he said that he could not log on to his bank, and he called a number for the bank. He happened to call a spoof number that wasn't his bank, and he was on the phone sharing his screen when his wife walked in and said, "What are you doing? Banks never do that." And she disconnected the computer and saved their ass. And this is a guy that actually has worked with us in the past. So it's amazing to me how convincing people can be. So I don't think it's impossible. I think it happens to the best of us. And it's a shame, Colin. And you're, as far as getting the word out, we do that each and every day. This story is chilling. And it all started when they somehow got a hold of you. I'd like to know where the hole was to begin with, where they got all your information.
Because they said the only two people that had my information ever were two credible businesses.
But here's the thing. Did you tell those businesses?
Yes.
What did they say?
And both people said, we've never had any issue like that. In 28, 30 years we've been in business, we've never once had an issue.
And you're thinking it's too much, it can't be a coincidence.
It can't be a coincidence. 2 days. 2 days after giving me my bank account information, my social security, my address, my ID, everything to buy a house. You need all that stuff. They had everything.
Somebody could be working for them on the inside, shuttling that information out.
I don't know. But it's
sad.
scary. So, but my other question was, because I've done the LifeLock, I've done everything that I can do online, everything. So my question is, as long as I don't do physically something like that again, I'm protected, right? Like they can't open up a credit card in my name. I don't have to be.
Well,
right?
if you have a credit freeze, no one can open anything in your name. In fact, sometimes I forget I have the credit freeze, and when I apply for something, I'm turned down, and I say, "What the hell am I turned down for?" And then I go and find out that it's because they couldn't pull the check. Sometimes they tell you they can't pull the check. At other times, they just turn you down. But always keep the freeze on and only unfreeze it for a couple hours at a time. I'm telling you, you have to lock everything down. And you should have two-party verification for everything you do. Meaning, when you have a password, you also want them to text you a code to your phone. Okay? Always. Now, here's the other thing. Know this. No one will ever tell you again, ever, that you need to take cash out of your account. No one. No one will. No one. Absolutely no one. That never happens. That's a sure sign of a scam. I'm sorry it happened, Colin. 303-713-TALK. I wish I had better news. 303-713-8255.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. Download the free iHeart Radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Some new delays up on the northeast end of town, I-76 westbound at 74th. The disabled vehicle in the right lane has significant stop-and-go traffic back from 88th. We're seeing a 40-minute delay through Adams County. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. For folks leaving the Denver Metro on the west end, I-70 westbound approaching Lookout Mountain. An accident in the left lane has slow traffic back from Hogback Road. Once again, significant delays through the area. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies, high 63 today, overnight low of 32, scattered showers across the Front Range tomorrow. The current temperature is 57 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. Save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors and more. Save now at Dell.com/deals.
Before you're even ready to list a home or sell a home or think about buying a home, you want to know, what will my home sell for? What will the home sell for that you're in? And you don't want to necessarily get an appraisal, and you don't want to go through the entire listing process. Well, that's where Frank Duran, the realestateman.com, comes in. Free of charge, no obligation, complimentary home analysis. What it will sell for in this market, given all the circumstances and factors, including interest rates, supply and demand, the home itself, comparables, and then even he'll tell you what you'll qualify for and buy. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Theartofgranite.com. That's the website, and I'm going to give you the number, and you're going to love the number because when you call, you can talk to Mitch and plan out your countertop and get a price on the phone. He may ask for some square footage, maybe a pick or two, but you'll get a price. The Art of Granite does all kinds of countertops, from granite to natural stone to man-made materials, and they're happy to give you a quote on the phone right now. In fact, you also get to select whether you want a free backsplash, a kitchen sink maybe, edge treatment, or 15% off, and with cabinets, 25% off, 303-386-5919.
Okay.
That poor guy, man. Damn.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
Are you done with the call-in call?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I enjoy my relationship with my many and various scammers, West African and other places. And now, they've never really talked about drain my account, but I have usually come back with the line, well, we'll have to drain something else of mine before I get any money to you.
Hey, Colin, thanks for your call today.
Hasn't
You have
worked
anything
yet.
else you want to talk to Tom about? Okay, best to you. I hope it all works out. Bye-bye.
I hope it all works out.
Here's the thing,
I
though.
had been listening to the call. I'm trying to get tax stuff for Tom.
Here's what's odd, though, is that they're thinking of new ways every single day. I never heard of that one where you take cash out of one area and go over and put it in an ATM. I never heard
Skinny,
of
you
that.
should be next. Hang on.
I mean, you want to talk about having. I mean, imagine hiring a new employee and walking them through all the scripts that you have to get them ready to make a phone call like that, to actually pull off that scam through and through from start to finish.
They're usually relatives.
But even if it's a relative, just getting somebody and saying, okay, here's how we're going to do this. I mean, the planning and execution of that, and how many people fall for that? I mean, it's truly got to be like 1 in 1,000 that even have $15,000 to go down and dump into an ATM.
Well, John, they have printed sheets which tell them exactly what to say. It's right in front of them, and so they just follow the script.
Yeah, but
If
how
it's
many
coming
people
from a
have
boiler room, but
$38 in their checking account? I mean,
I don't know, but I just know that they do follow a script that's written for them.
I mean, they hit a home run with that dude.
well, they dinged that other guy this week for $11,000.
Yeah.
And it's happening all the time.
These
Some
guys
little old
are-
ladies go through $250,000 or more.
They're in India.
West Africa.
Well, no, I think West Africa's used different ones. This is like an Indian scam.
Yeah. Yeah, the West Africans that hit me up are usually like, $400 at the most that they want.
And those are the ones that you proposition.
Well, I end up saying, you will not believe the horrible things you would have to do to get $400 out of me.
I'm not saying it can't be done.
Right. I've been married twice. You can get $400 out of me, but it's pretty awful, and you should bring your own gloves.
Right. You're going to need a sanitary wipe when you're done with that. Did you smell that?
Yes. Remember, we're on.
I know. Somebody brought flowers today.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
I hate that. You get used to it.
Troubleshooter show.
You ever seen the Seinfeld episode where the car
Do you need
gets,
some Febreze?
Annie? Yeah.
Do you?
Go ahead.
gets
I could-
what do you call it?
Yep.
valet gets in there, stinks the car up so bad.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up trying to get people to steal it.
I don't remember that one, but that's awesome.
I didn't hear that part. I think he was talking about your credit report, I think is what he was saying should be frozen, correct?
Oh, here we go.
Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I noticed this guy's been on for a while, or this woman, Skinny, goes by the name Skinny. Hello, Skinny.
Hey, Tom. Good to talk
what's
to you.
going on?
It's been a while. I've been a long-term fan.
What kind of name is Skinny?
I'm just a skinny guy. Used to be a professional musician, so...
Oh, okay.
Skinny arms, playing the drums, just I was a skinny guy.
So what's happening?
So I run a business in the music industry and everything, and so I have business insurance and lots of assets and all of that with the equipment that I have. So I have insurance, and every month my insurance comes out, and I just know how much my expenses are every month, and I keep a certain amount of money in my account. 15 grand or so in the off season, 20, 25 in the on season. I just, make sure that I've always got enough money for all the automatic payments to come out. So randomly, yesterday morning, my insurance company took $20,000 out of my account.
$20,000. Now, had you been paying your premiums right along?
Well, I set it up on auto payment, right? And usually those payments can be around, $3,500, $4,000 or so. And I kind of noticed that they were a little bit low. And so, but I wasn't worried about it, right? Because I just kind of set this
How
up on
low
auto
were
pay.
they, Skinny? How low?
They may have been like $2,000.
Well, let me ask you this, Skinny. When do you make your payments, your premiums, monthly or yearly?
Monthly, yeah. They just come out monthly.
And how much are they usually? Usually, what are they monthly?
And they're usually around, like I said, about 35 to 4,000.
Every single month?
Yeah. Like I do about $1 million a year in revenue, and so there's all of the equipment and.
No, what do you do? Can you tell me
together.
so I can have a better picture? What do you do with your business?
So I run a company called SSS Productions. We do the staging. Like, I know you've been to Denver Oktoberfest, right?
Right.
And so, the trailers that turn into stages that go at the end of the road. And they block it. So I've got 7 different stages.
Okay,
like
so
that.
this is a
sound
major
equipment.
setup business. Okay, so Skinny,
Yeah.
Skinny. In order for me to help you, you have to draw cash out of your account and go to an ATM. I'm going to tell you where to go. Oh, you heard that damn call, so now you're not going to do it. Okay, so listen. So your payments were running low, and let me just guess. Was this a makeup because they were taking out too little in the past?
Yes. So randomly, without telling me, they decided to run 8 of the payments for I think it was my auto.
And do they
policy.
know why? Do they know why they were lower than usual? Why they underbilled you?
I have heard that the insurance company isn't, full of incapable people, but their billing company that they hire to do the billing is full of incapable people.
So, but here's the thing, and I think John Fuller, who's our personal injury attorney, but he's also an attorney. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. And I think we've probably heard stuff like this before. With accounting errors, if you truly owe the money, the burden is this. You just said it, you plan for cash flow, you plan for expenses, and technically you should have been planning for around $4,000 a month. And when that was artificially low, you had more money. You didn't notice it. And what happens is when they take the money out that's rightfully theirs, although not when they said they would, it puts you in a bad way. We have had this same recurring problem with, you name it, not just with insurance, but with even all kinds of stuff where people end up, especially utilities, where people end up with a lump sum due. What they should have done is called you and said, hey man, we've been having an error But to just take 20 grand all at once is crazy.
That's what I say. And you summed it up perfectly. So I don't deny that I owe the money. I've had coverage the whole time. And I can manage it because whatever, it's 20 grand, it's the off season. That's a tough pill to swallow. But I could manage that if they had just called me and said, okay, take double the payment over the next 6 months.
Is this an insurance broker you're dealing with?
So I have a great insurance broker to get down to the bottom of this. But now, of course, I'm like overdrawn $5,000, and then another payment comes out.
Man, they should have never done that without notifying you. That, to me, was reckless. It depends on what your contract says. It might even be a breach of contract. Do you have in writing somewhere how they were supposed to draw premiums?
Yeah, you would think, right? You sign a contract saying that you're allowing them to take the payments out, and then they say they're going to do it in monthly installments. And then when they don't, that's the question, is like when they don't do it in monthly installments and then they come back, I'll have to look at the letter of the law to say, like, because obviously this is going to be painful and it's hurting me for all these overdraft fees that I'm getting in the last 48 hours.
But may I ask something? If you do budget, you should, for example, I've had cases where Suze will come to me and say, you haven't been billed for this in a long time, or this guy never cashed a check we sent, or something. In other words, doesn't extra money show up for you? If how many months does this represent of underpayment?
It was 8 months.
Over 8 months. Why wouldn't you notice extra money as a result of this? I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but why wouldn't you notice that?
Like I said, I sort of noticed that those payments were lower, and I know insurance payments can fluctuate because they are, your assets might depreciate. Just things happen, right? Where you're not insuring as much or you're insuring more, so they go up and down.
Yeah, but you're the one that determines that, not your insurance company.
Right. At the end of the day, I just put things on auto pay, and I assume that
you know what? I can see where that happens. I see what you're saying. You just put it on auto pay, and you didn't. Okay. I get what you're saying, and you don't necessarily draw out profit or anything, and you're every month, and you're not. I can see where that can happen. Yep, I can see. It's terrible. But then theoretically, the money should still be there too, because you don't necessarily live hand to mouth. So the money is there because you were paying less than you normally had accounted for.
Right. And I'm just cash flowing every month, of course. And so it's just a surprise.
Now, did you have a question for us? Like, did you want to know if there's anything you can do about it?
Yeah, I guess the question is, right, is there any legal sort of, you already mentioned it, you alluded to it, where I'd have to look and see.
If they took payments other than the terms of your agreement, you could argue that their recklessness or breach of contract cost you some inconvenience, overdraft fees, and all of that. Ultimately, you'll owe them the money, but they were in breach of what they said they would do. John, is that kind of how you feel, John Fuller?
Yeah, I really feel like that, there's a certain responsibility that goes along with putting things on auto pay and stuff. And I know that if I were, expecting a certain amount coming out for insurance and it was being charged a lot lower, my immediate concern would be, am I getting the coverage that I'm supposed to be getting? And if something, is something wrong here that I need to go check out? And I would affirmatively call those people and say, what's going on? What's the deal? And we'd get to the bottom of it.
By the way, that's John Fuller, myaccidentlawyer.co. He's here for other reasons as well. We have more coming up. I got to take this break, and I know Annie has a quick question. I'll get right back to her.
Down.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Groundworks Colorado, your local trusted experts.
Some new delays up on the northeast end of town, I-76 westbound at 74th. The disabled vehicle in the right lane has significant stop-and-go traffic back from 88th. We're seeing a 40-minute delay through Adams County. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. For folks leaving the Denver Metro on the west end, I-70 westbound approaching Lookout Mountain. An accident in the left lane has slow traffic back from Hogback Road. Once again, significant delays through the area. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies, high 63 today, overnight low of 32. Scattered showers across the Front Range tomorrow. The current temperature is 57 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Is water seeping into your basement? Are your basement walls cracking? Contact Groundworks, the basement waterproofing experts. Get your free inspection today. Learn more at groundworks.com.
Man, are you going to want to hear this? K&H Home Solutions, the oldest home improvement company in Colorado, has now gone to a wonderful Alpine high-performance window made right here in Colorado with absolute unbelievable energy-efficient technology. Thermally efficient as well as beautiful for commercial and residential buildings. Lightweight with a suspended film technology that damn near insulates these windows as if they are walls. Man, do you have to find out more about these. If you ever wanted the ultimate in windows, check a dependable company, both Alpine Windows and K&H Home Solutions, a winning combination, khwindows.com, 303-421-7100. Joe Lazar is a criminal defense attorney, and I say this all the time, hope you never need him. But there are times in life when things are not perfect. You know, people get popped all the time for DUIs or arguments they have with people, yelling at each other, road rage, whatever it is. If you have a problem with the law, don't ever try to take it into your own hands. Please don't try to defend yourself, and also don't shop for an attorney under pressure. I've done the shopping for you. Joe Lazzara, Lazzara. I've known him for many, many years. He has great reviews. He does free initial consultations and then flat rate pricing. 303-429-6200, 429-6200.
Thank you. 4 minutes.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes.
I got another auto reply from you.
I just turned it off. Is it still? Let me see if it's still happening.
It's literally like less than a minute ago.
Gosh, dang it. I turned it off. I don't understand this.
Well, yeah, it's okay. I just wanted to
know. No. I'm just wondering why that is happening. Okay.
Maybe you have the settings somewhere else. I don't know.
There was a setting that said,
yeah, he's
send and archive.
It was a bit of an aloof.
Show, send, and archive button. No, hold on.
Yeah, I get it.
Always display. Let's see. Enable dynamic
thought,
email. Spelling.
Stepping on toes,
autocorrect.
maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Personalization. Auto reply is off. Smart reply is off.
But it really didn't matter because I was paying him to do what I was asking him to do.
You want me to try again?
Hold on. I'll let you know
that part
when.
of it too, you know.
Video personalized experience. Hold on. I want to hold on.
You have the weirdest problems sometimes.
Oh my God.
But he didn't do anything. Nothing changed.
No, this time.
Still, though, you might.
This time I actually noticed.
I know Andy's going to reach out to you.
I actually noticed the auto reply was
just
on.
give it a thought if you can do it cheap enough just to lock it up.
You know, our parents
so
used to tease us by saying, go
just
play in
don't know.
traffic.
I mean,
Now it's go play in
for-
sex traffic.
I don't even know how long.
Oh, vacation responder. Okay, hold on, and I don't have a message. Okay, hold on. I had both. Never mind. But go ahead and send me something right now, and then we'll.
Okay, I'm sending it now.
People
Let's see what
definitely
happens.
tune in to check out the new host. That always happens. Politic-wise, he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I would.
I don't have anything back now.
Good.
That's
Did it
good.
come immediately? Usually.
It usually like instantly.
Brown and everybody. In fact, he's filled in Mandy. He's filled in Ross across the network.
Right. I mean, I felt like he was just waiting his turn for a long time, so it didn't really surprise me.
No, not at all.
The Leland thing kind of surprised me, but
Yeah, that did. It caught us all off guard, honestly.
what did
He's got another show he does every day in, I always want to say Kentucky, but I don't know if that's correct.
That's where he's from.
Yeah. But I think so. It probably is from there, huh?
I thought it was Lexington or something.
Yeah, Lexington.
Troubleshooter show. What is?
So was that not of his choosing?
I don't think so. No, it wasn't. The one I'll never forget was what year was that bloodbath, Shannon? God bless.
Like the Chris Olinger stuff?
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
No, after that.
Really? No, I thought it was KO dragging people in her office, like even letting
the one when
Mike Rosen's daughter
Corey
go.
was part of it.
And Ed,
Well,
I miss
that was
Ed.
post-COVID, kind of. Not post-COVID. I mean, that was kind of part of that COVID slough
God,
off.
that was a
because there
bloodbath.
were 150 people who were furloughed.
How many was the most you think in this building when it was rocking and rolling? 400? 500?
Oh, yeah, it was almost 500 in 02.
What's in here now? Do you have any idea?
80.
God.
If that.
7.
Well, there's also a lot on the third floor in traffic.
Well,
and
not
stuff.
really, because a lot of that got
But I
moved.
may not be driving in, but there's probably a good 20 traffic people because of how many stations we do nationally.
Whatever happened with, like, Hank's position? Do you know?
Oh, it's some chick named, I call her Genki because that's what her email
Who's
looks
Hank?
like, but that's not.
Hank, if you watch
traffic.
Fox 31, he actually
here
does
we
the
go.
traffic.
Now, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino. Let's go to Deputy Chopper. He has a follow-up. Deputy Chopper, I hope we can get to you.
Yeah, this is. I'll make it quick. I won't do my rant, Tom.
You can do
remember
your
2
rant.
days ago
You
we
can
had
do your
a
rant
lady-
later. Go ahead.
Okay, we had 2 days ago. We had a lady write us a letter about her apartment and the problems, and she said the Catholic Charities should know about everything, and people shouldn't die in her apartment.
Oh,
So
I remember that.
contacted
She's saying it was
Catholic-
terrible conditions. I remember.
She was saying, people were just croaking everywhere, man.
Yeah, and veterans
Yeah.
especially. She
I
said
contacted-
veterans.
And then they don't find them for weeks and weeks.
Was she exaggerating a little or
That's
what?
correct, guys. I have no way of knowing that, but I contacted Catholic Charities, their media relations lady, Stacy, who was an excellent contact. She took the letter, looked at everything, gave it to their director, and they went out. Anything that applied to running the building, they took care of. They couldn't handle, people dying.
No, of course
because
not.
that's just what happens.
Yeah. Well, that's good though.
That's it,
That you. Hey, make sure we put that on our angel list there. That's great, Chopper.
It always kind of irritates me, just in general, when people are on some form of a subsidy and they're complaining left and right. Now, I'm not saying that
I
they
know.
shouldn't have good living conditions, but Catholic Charities, they're creating low-income housing that might not be there if they weren't doing it.
Yeah, and I know what
Tom,
they're saying. Yeah.
I had talked to Stacy and told her I wanted her to be my angel, and she has no problem with us contacting in the future.
Good. Because when we have problems there, or inquiries, I should say, it's a good place to start. If you want to rant, Deputy Chopper, feel free to do that coming up in the next hour. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. I also have some text questions for John Fuller Law, and we'll talk to him coming up. 303-713-TALK is our number, 713-8255.
Bye-bye.
You got it?
Troubleshooter show. What is your first name?
Well, that was fun.
For roofing? Yeah, what area of town are you in? Yeah, definitely Excel Roofing. Can I give you their phone number? Yeah. I can give you their number if you want. Sure. 303 761 6400. They're great. You're most welcome. Talk to you later. You too. Bye-bye. Hi, is this Mark? Hi, it's the Tom Martino Show. How are you? I'm doing good. Hey, I'm filling in for Kelly today, who checks our voicemail and whatnot. I assume you left a voicemail with a question on Become the Banker. Is that correct? Oh. Oh, gosh. Who are you meeting with, Joe or Jordan or what? Okay. Okay. Oh, perfect. Well, you can't go wrong with those guys. Hey, listen, best to you with everything then. I'm glad you got a hold of them and made a connection. And let us know if we can help with anything else, Mark, okay? Okay. Be good down there in Pueblo, man. Bye-bye. Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Kelly has on the list something to do with Tim and a Lazy Day issue. Says he's really rude. Called in last week. Mark talked to him. Mark called Lazy Days. No response. Not sure if you want to take him on the air or what. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. I said he needs to probably pick it up and bring it to a different location.
Oh. You want me to call him?
Yeah, I mean, tell him that. He needs to bring it somewhere else. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Serious.
All right, I'll give the guy a call.
I think Kelly told him that yesterday, though.
I don't know why he's on my list for today. Okay, well, maybe I'll give it a day and see if he leaves another voicemail then, if you think Kelly told him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she told me she told him that. I don't know what their problem is at that. I don't know what the location is. It's somewhere in Denver. Or maybe Golden. I don't remember. But even their main customer service up in wherever their headquarters, they are having trouble getting through to their own dealership.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just that one. I think it's one they purchased from another company. I just have no idea.
That's messed up. Okay.
I told him to get it up to Ray in Longmont. I mean, he'll fix it. God, that video on that bridge is unbelievable, how fast that thing goes. I mean, it's instant. It's like... Can you imagine being on a car on that son of a bitch?
There were no cars on there.
No, they just found a pickup truck down there. There was
That was the workman.
Well,
There were
I'm
two
just...
dudes. Yeah, but I mean, the 6 workmen, but there were no...
Oh, because they stopped them.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing is that there's
Imagine
another...
if that was in the middle of the freaking day.
There was another conspiracy thing that supposedly they deliberately turned into the whatever they could, the pillars,
pylon or
and there were 3 explosive charges on the top of the bridge.
It's obvious that thing lost power. It's probably bad gas, is what they're saying. I guess I never.
They're actually saying that 48 hours before it was having mechanical issues that were. The problem was that several refrigeration units on that ship were blowing breakers and causing the whole thing to
go crazy,
go black, and they didn't fix that. But they have certain refrigerated units, and they have some that are not. And
yeah, of course.
And so the fridges were throwing the breakers, and they didn't fix that ship before they left. So they're starting to come out with more and more plausible things about what happened on that. But you can clearly see the lights on the ship going out.
Yeah,
And the
you
pilot
can.
actually, in my opinion, did everything that they were supposed to do. The actual timeline from the black box and stuff was it went out, it came back on.
They stopped traffic.
They called Mayday on the radio. He immediately dropped anchor, and then like a minute and a half later, it hit that fucking piling.
You know what's
so close.
what's weird is no one got through to that crew to get the hell off there. That's the only thing. I wonder where the ball dropped.
Though. I think they did. They were told to get the hell off of there, but they were in the middle of the goddamn bridge. I mean,
yeah.
The other argument is they didn't speak
guys
English.
That they found in the pickup truck were in the truck. Who knows if they had run for it?
That's true. I forgot about
they're
that,
all
Dragon.
Not nationalized citizens. They're from
They don't
Venezuela
speak English.
Yeah, but one of them, I don't know if that's the case because the two people had been there like 20 years.
Yeah,
so.
Doc's conspiracy theorist stuff. This is
speaking
people
up
thrown
English,
out.
no
They
one's
don't give
talking
us the
at all.
names of the people, but we know they're not.
They're Guatemalan.
Yeah, well, they're putting out names now, and they're putting out their family profiles, and they were the
If they were working there
family
20 years,
leader.
they know English.
Well, I know enough to get off the bridge.
Not only did they know English, but I suspect that by now, I mean, if they've been here 20 years, I mean, that's long enough to have gotten, a green card and stuff. So, but, the first things were all like, oh, he's a natural, Guatemalan, and he's a native Ecuadorian and stuff. And it sounded like quite the little diverse crew out there, but all Spanish speaking. So
it's still just amazing to me how fast it fell. It's just instant.
Well, I am.
Well, they said
if it was built like something, whenever it changed, I don't know if it was 1990 or when it changed.
They had a term for that type of bridge that can't withstand that, and they said this morning that there were like 17,000 of them in the U.S.
Oh, God.
The same way. Now, not all of them are over navigable waterways and stuff that are going to have big-ass ships running into them.
Not like that.
But ones that can't withstand a fracture without it taking the whole thing out.
Well, what they showed is the newer ones that can, they said, if you look at what they do, it has nothing to do with the pillars themselves.
Funny new data on how dramatically marijuana use can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
All right, 303-8255. Welcome to the show, by the way. I'm not sure what happened to Tom, but we'll get him back up here. Here's the deal. 303 Martino, that number works on and off the air.
Tom, are you there, buddy?
Time to get through. 303-713-8255. Let's get right to the phones. Randy, what's going on with you?
I purchased a 2020 Honda Ridgeline from Auto Nation on 104th.
Okay.
Less than 90 days ago. It has a certified.
Hey, Randy, when you said left 90 days ago, what does that mean? You bought it 90 days ago?
Last night, yeah, within 90 days.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Got it.
I had the opportunity to turn the air conditioning on for the first time since I purchased the vehicle, and it was blowing hot air. I took it back into the dealership.
Did you buy any kind of warranty, or do they have any kind of warranty when you buy a used vehicle?
This is a certified pre-owned
okay.
with a Honda True warranty.
Well, hold on a second, Randy. I'm not very familiar with the Honda warranty, but is there a bumper-to-bumper and a power line? What is the warranty you have?
Yeah, it's bumper-to-bumper with the power line.
For how long?
I'm back.
I know.
All right, you're going up.
Tom, I don't know specifically.
Okay, so you're saying it's under warranty no matter what.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
So the Honda dealer, they said it passed a 182-point inspection, which
Sure.
included the AC.
Sure.
And now I've taken it in, and they say there's a leak in the AC system, and that the repair will more than likely be covered by the Honda warranty, but they're charging me $600 just to diagnose the problem.
Well, a couple things here, man. One, there's no way of telling if that AC worked or didn't work when you purchased it. You follow what I'm saying? And I would guess, just logically looking at it, it probably didn't work, and because it's cold out, you didn't use it. I get all of that, but they do have an argument there. And then the second thing is, I'm still not sure about this warranty. I think what you have, when I look up a certified pre-owned Honda, it has a powertrain coverage of 7 years or 100,000 miles. It's not a bumper-to-bumper, so therefore it would not cover the air conditioning. I think when
it does cover the air conditioning. It says specifically in the warranty information I've got, that the air conditioning is covered.
Okay, so why are they charging you for it?
Randy, powertrains don't normally cover that. Do you have a separate warranty in addition to that?
Yeah, I've got the warranty paperwork in front of me. I mean,
did you buy that warranty or did it come with it?
No, it came with it. It's certified pre-owned. It came with it.
I don't. So you didn't purchase another warranty?
No, I mean
it's just a certified pre-owned Honda. How many miles are on it?
39,000.
Okay, I do not think you have a warranty for the air conditioner, but I could be wrong.
I could absolutely guarantee you I do.
Okay, then why are they charging you
Okay, hold on.
$600?
That's a good question. You have in writing there the Honda warranty, and it says the air conditioner's covered.
Right.
Okay, so Mark asked, why are they? Good question. Why are they covering it? Why aren't they covering it?
What they're charging? They're charging.
Oh, the diagnostic.
$600 to diagnose the problem.
Okay, hold on.
Which I think is
that's weird. So, what would prevent them from charging you?
I've never heard of it. What did they say is wrong with it, Randy? What is wrong with the AC?
They said there's a leak somewhere.
What do they have to replace?
They don't know yet, but what they have to do is they have to recharge it with dye and let the dye come out so they can determine where the leak is.
See, Mark, they are going to fix it. They're just saying it cost them $600 to find out what was wrong with it.
Well, I've never heard of a warranty like that.
Never have I. I mean, did you ask them how they justify the $600? I mean, you have a warranty, and you took it in under warranty, and they said, okay, the warranty is going to fix it, but you have to pay for the diagnostic.
Well, I think where the problem arises is that the warranty is through Honda and not through the dealer.
Well, what does the warranty say? Have you pulled the warranty and read who's responsible for diagnostic testing?
No, I didn't.
Is this the dealer you bought it from?
Yeah.
Are they a Honda dealer?
Yeah, it's AutoNation Honda on 104th and Federal.
I don't get it. To me, when you take a car in for warranty work, I have never heard of them charging you for diagnostics.
What year's that Ridgeline?
2020.
Okay.
Okay, and right here, for non-powertrain coverage, it says the AC is covered.
Does it say anything in the warranty about diagnostic charges?
Or for how long is it covered?
You know, it's okay. Air conditioning system, compressor clutch.
You probably want to look under the section of what is not covered.
Right. That's exactly right. Do you have exclusions there in that policy? Can you send that to us? Do you have a digital form of that?
Yeah, I do.
Good. Send it to us. 303-713-TALK. That's what we need to do. Rather than guessing. 303-713-8255.
Yeah,
Mark, have you ever heard of a warranty ever?
Well, I wouldn't even consider that a warranty. So my check engine light comes on, and I go in there, and they charge me $600 to diagnose it and tell me I got a bad gas cap and give me a $5 gas cap.
Right.
It makes zero sense.
Right. Or what's to prevent them from charging $5,000 and you need a new engine, but it cost them $5,000 to figure it out? I mean, there's got to be something in that warranty we need to look at. 303-713-8255. I totally agree with John. We got to see it. It's probably a matter of contract. Again, you may want to try another dealer to see how they handle it.
That would be the most crooked warranty I have ever heard from a car manufacturer. There's crooked ones out there on the secondary market everywhere. But for Honda to have a certified vehicle where you pay diagnostics, that's worse than any other brand I've ever heard of. I have never paid for diagnostics on a warranty issue on a Hyundai ever.
On a Hyundai, right. And this one is
Hyundai.
Let's put it this way. This particular one is This particular one is it's not the regular Honda warranty, right? It's for the certified pre-owned.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Honda's site. They have Honda True Certified Plus, Honda True Certified, Honda True Used, and then Used. So they're listing everything. I have no idea what he bought, though. We got to see something.
He said it's a true, what was he calling it? I want to get the exact name of that.
Yeah, but there's multiple ones. There's Honda True Certified Plus, Honda True Certified, and
Do you know
Honda
what,
True
Randy,
Used.
what's the name of your actual warranty? Is he there?
That was my bad, Tom. He's there now.
Go ahead. What is the name of your policy, the actual name?
Honda True Certified.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Honda True
It's not the Plus.
What's that?
It's not the.
Okay,
Honda
got
True
it.
Certified
Okay,
Plus.
we'll look at it. We'll look at it. Send it to us. We'll be right back. We got more 303-713-TALK. I'll be interested to see what that does. DenverRegen.com, by the way, will do the weight loss supplement semaglutide for just $250 a month. That's with all injection supplies, the drug itself, and doctor's consultations. You don't beat it. Compare that to $1,500 or more at other places. DenverRegen.com.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos. A better, easier way to get term life insurance. All online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Keel and Park are estate planning attorneys, and I love the way they do business. First and foremost, they'll meet with you free of charge and go over your entire estate plan free of charge. Not necessarily even your plan, but your life, your business, your assets, artwork, money, whatever. And then they will come up with a plan with an estimated price. And that's where you decide what you want to do. If you want to do it, it's a flat rate price. If you want to do some of it, it's less. And if you want to do all of it, it's more. It's up to you. And you'll know the price going in, and it won't change. Keel and Park. And as I said, you can just call them and talk and meet free of charge. LawKP.com, 970-818-8198. LawKP.com. Sheridan Auto Tech. Sheridan Auto Tech is your place to go for dependable, honest, and dependable, and smart, value-minded. I can't think of enough accolades to give Kevin Calkin and his team at Sheridan Auto Tech. Whether it's electrical items, mechanical, or whatever, they can do it all, and they do it with honesty, integrity, and value. Again, SheridanAutotech.com, including pre-buy inspections. That's 303-455-7242, 455-7242. One Clear Choice Garage Doors is the place that you want for your garage doors, whether you want a brand new door and opener, just the opener, any part of the opener, or inspections. They do it all. One Clear Choice Doors, one of the few companies that have true certifications and factory authorizations. Please don't trust your doors to some schlock on the street with an SUV and no way to know what they're doing. One Clear Choice Doors, professional and guaranteed. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. All of their prices fully disclosed on their website. Frank Duran, TheRealEstateMan.com, will do a market analysis of your home, as we've mentioned, and that analysis is true blue, and it takes into consideration all of the factors pricing your home, so you have a pretty good idea of what it will sell for in today's market. It doesn't come with any obligation, and Frank will do this free of charge. That's 303-920-1622, 920-1622. Water Pros, get your whole house water system for around $3,500, better than probably a third of the cost you'll find at other plumbing contractors with systems that don't work half as good. Waterpros.net. On this show, when we talk about health, I always talk about GrossmanWellness.com. Grossman is someone I credit with my health. They do all of the blood work. Listen to this. All of your prescriptions that you need, well, most of them, and your supplements, all included in one low monthly payment. But here's what you do. To get started, to see even if you need help, $249 gets you all the blood work, your first consultation, and no further obligation. Do yourself a favor and see where you stand. 303-233-4247.
I mean, I think of some of his.
But he's pulling numbers.
Tommy?
Yes.
Who's doing the AC
Ross Perot only
inspection
pulled 20,
special
and that
right
was
now?
amazing, quite frankly.
The AC special.
That was my first vote I
you get
ever
the AC
casted.
free, you get the furnace free when you install the AC?
No, it's just an
especially
inspection.
The free inspections, 888heating.com.
Oh, 888 heating. Okay, I had a caller asking.
Yes.
And Tom thinks that, Tom thinks Biden's sharp.
You with me, sir?
He said sharp like a knife.
Hi, it's 888 heating.
Like a
and if you have a
switchblade
pen, I
stiletto.
can give you their phone number.
He said Biden's like a stiletto.
Well,
Yes, 888. The number 8.
Yeah, but let me give him the number.
888 heating, and if you have a pen, I am happy to give you their phone number.
Okay.
He's my age. How could he be?
I'd like to see Biden and Tom do a show together remotely. Like Biden's over at my house, but I'm not there.
Right.
Tom's remote, and then Doc is here in the studio.
Why do you want to do that?
Still amazes me.
Dragon's looking at me like, don't ever make
be
that
worse
happen.
than hurting cats.
Doesn't it amaze you that
What did you say?
He said it'd be worse than hurting cats.
It's just not possible. It would not happen. Nothing. No.
What the hell would
No,
they
I
talk
refuse.
about?
What? I tune in.
Oh, so did you read that Bankman got 25 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's pretty much broke, though. Am I correct in that, or we really don't know?
Sam?
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
He didn't have enough
That's
to
what
buy.
I mean.
Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. John Fuller's with us, and I want to talk about a few things. I've been getting some questions here. Here's a real easy one. I know it's one of your most terrible subjects because he's called myaccidentlawyer.co, and he's even though he takes other kinds of personal injury, he said premises liability is one of the worst. First of all, John, before I even ask you this question, this person wants it was about the last snowstorm. Why are premises liability lawsuits so hard?
Well, it's easy because our Colorado legislature back in the 80s decided that the simple concept of negligence was too low of a standard for us to use in Colorado, and so they set out to build a statute that would define the duty of landowners so that we had a tougher road for claimants to go down before they could prevail in, what's commonly known as a slip and fall. So our legislature decided that they wanted to make it very difficult for people that had been injured to actually successfully bring claims.
So can I ask something? So they made it very difficult, and I want you to spell out what it takes to do a lawsuit for premises liability. But I wanted to ask you something. When was that? When were those laws passed? That to me sounds. So
it first was passed back in kind of the era of tort reform, which was the early to mid 80s. I think the latest rendition was about 86, and in fact, the first version, Tom, was so bad that it was subsequently declared unconstitutional, and they had to go back and kind of revisit it and come up with some different verbiage to pass muster. But the main thing that they did is they recognize, which I don't have an issue with, that there are different statuses that people can have on property. So the different statuses are obviously trespasser would be somebody who's owed the lowest duty of care because they're not supposed to be on the property. The second two are invitees and licensees, and those are a little less clear as to what they amount to. But it's an effort by the legislature to say that the duty of a landowner or the person responsible for property is different depending on your status on the property. And so somebody that is there for their own reasons only it's going to have a different standard than somebody that's there doing business with you, like a customer at a store.
If you took a grocery store, so you have your customers, which would be considered what? Are they
they're
invitees, right?
The customers are considered invitees.
And then the bread guy that's delivering bread would be a leasee.
Would be a licensee.
Or a licensee.
Yeah. And so that's a great example of the different standards. So the guy that is there as a customer is going to enjoy the most protection, and the landowner is going to be responsible for a dangerous condition that they knew of or that they should have known of, whereas the guy that's the licensee has to actually prove that the landowner was aware of the dangerous condition and did nothing to protect from it. So that level of knowledge is the difference, and in many cases, that's a huge difference in terms of being able to prove the liability of the landowner or not.
And real quick, the grocery store again, if oil spills, a glass breaks, and it's oil, and someone slips and falls, does it matter if does it matter how long it'd been sitting on the floor?
Yeah.
If it's been there for 1 minute or an hour, does that matter?
Yeah, it does matter. And the statute says a new or should have known standard. And so the reason why when we have a grocery store case, we get sweep logs and mop logs and stuff that show that they were down that aisle like every 6 minutes is because they understand that the jury is eventually going to have to consider and decide whether the efforts that they took were reasonable. So it could have been there for 3 hours if a jury decides that that's reasonable, that they didn't discover it in 3 hours.
Okay.
But you and I know that that's probably not going to be reasonable.
Or if an employee walked by it and decided he was going to be lazy and kept going.
For sure.
Now, what about this one then? Somebody wants to know, with the last snowstorm, they were out in front of a business and slipped on the snow. It hadn't been shoveled.
Well, same standard. Dangerous condition that they knew of or should have known of. And it goes deeper. We have to consider the role of the landowner. Is it the landowner? Is it a lessee? Is it a tenant? All those issues have to be worked out as well. But it's an unreasonable failure to take reasonable steps to protect against a dangerous condition that you knew of or that you didn't or that you should have known of. So you've got two unreasonables and a knew or should have known all in the same sentence. So the reason they're so tough is that you can just manipulate that sentence 58 ways from Sunday and arrive at a different conclusion.
Okay, and what if you're walking by the store on a public sidewalk, but they're responsible for shoveling or clearing the snow? You're not an invitee. You're not a licensee, are you?
You'd probably be closer to a licensee in that situation. But again, here's the
just
problem.
Walking
Tom.
past the store?
Yeah. You're there for your own purpose, your own benefit. You're traversing the property to get to a location that is entirely self-serving. So it probably would be a licensee. But here's one of the challenges, Tom, and this is the crazy part about the statute, is those issues are for the judge to decide, and that typically happens right before trial. So you may go all the way through the litigation process and not know exactly what the standard is that the landowner's going to be held to when you actually go to trial. And that's what makes them so difficult to get resolved, is that there's so many variables that are not decided and are not clearly known as you go through the process.
Would insurance cover you before you even go to court? Like if somebody's walking by and falls, or does insurance fight that kind of thing?
Well, they're going to fight every one of those cases. I mean, for a long, long time, every single case I had that was a premises case went into litigation. So, I mean, every single case went into litigation. And so you had to know that going into it. And as a result, we're very selective in the cases that we take for premises liability because we know we're going to be held to put up or shut up. So we're going to probably have to go into litigation. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll actually have to go to trial, but it means that your case is going to be tested. They're going to review everything. They're going to depose the witnesses. It's going to be hotly contested and litigated before you finally get it resolved at the end.
Someone else wants to know, if you are injured and can't work, but you didn't have a job, but you can show what your income would have been, you couldn't even look for a job, how do you figure out lost wages?
Well, that's a really touchy gray area. I am of the opinion that hypothetical losses are not damages that you can truly claim. Obviously there's lost opportunity, things that you might be able to carry the burden on. But if you're unemployed and unless you can truly show that you missed an opportunity, that a job offer was on the table that was going to pay you a definite amount of money, it's going to be very tough for you to prove that in court.
Well, you lost me a little bit there. So if you have someone, let's take 25 years old, and they're a law student, and they have this path ahead of them of making X amount because that's what lawyers make, whatever it is, or a 25-year-old that, works at the dollar store making $10 an hour, and that's their path forward, and they both get injured, not killed, but extremely injured where they can't work, period. Wouldn't the one with the more successful path ahead end up with more money if the insurance is there?
Well, not necessarily unless they had that job and they lost it, because there's plenty of kids with law degrees that are working at Starbucks and not making that what lawyers are supposed to make. And there's a million different paths that lawyers can take that don't pay, great or wonderful or even very good. I mean, so no, hypothetical losses are just that, hypothetical. And since you have the burden of proving, you have the burden of satisfying that proof that you've actually lost those dollars of earnings.
But age would come in, right? In other words, two people, same job, same salary, same kind of car accident, they can't work anymore. Let's say they're dentists.
And
one of them's 60 and one of them's 30.
Yeah, if they had jobs and they were not able to perform those jobs anymore, then certainly the
younger one.
The younger one is going to have a larger claim if he's not going to be able to work for the rest of his life. The older one, if statistically only has 14 more years of her working life, that may be a factor. Yeah,
Got
for
it.
sure.
All right, 303-713-TALK. We'll come right back to this. John Fuller, myaccidentlawyer.co. Somebody wants to know the value of a car, an 08 Hyundai Accent and a 2010 Toyota Corolla, plus more on the Troubleshooter Show right after this.
But how often
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible.
Major delays up on the northeast end of town. I-76 westbound at 74th. A stall in the right lane has stop-and-go traffic back from 96th. Crews working on this one, but we're seeing a 40-minute delay through the Commerce City area. Calm driving throughout the Denver metro. Otherwise, I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. Out west into the high country, I-70 westbound approaching Lookout Mountain. A crash in the left lane has slow traffic back from C-470. Folks leaving on the west end are seeing about a 30-minute delay. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, another warm one out there today. High 63 this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. Those clouds bringing in rain tomorrow with a high of 59. The current temperature is 58 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Come to Audible and discover the best selection of audiobooks without exception. Bestsellers, new releases, plus podcasts and exclusive Audible originals. You'll find everything you love all in one place. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Hey, I want to tell you about April 9th. There's a movie event by certified financial planner Joe Chiano and his team. MyMoneyMyWay.com will get you to the website. You'll find out more. MyMoneyMyWay.com. The movie's called The Baby Boomer Dilemma, and what Joe is hoping is that you come and join him for this movie. It's an educational event. It's a drama, by the way, part documentary, part drama. It's pretty cool, actually, and it talks about retirement and how a lot of people are caught without suitable plans, and it talks about building nest eggs and all of that. No sales job here, only information. Reserve your seat, mymoneymyway.com. K&H Home Solutions right now has a wonderful window made in Colorado. I am so happy to hear this because now we have the oldest home improvement company in Colorado, K&H Home Solutions, with a wonderful window made right here in Colorado. The window is one of the most insulated windows in the entire industry, and it's made right here with fully insulated and reinforced fiberglass framing to produce the highest performing windows, not only structurally, but thermally in all of North America. You will love this product, great prices, and a local product. That's Alpin Window at K&H Home Solutions, khwindows.com, 303-421-7100.
Those are
Wouldn't go to you.
always out there. But here's the deal. I can tell you this. I saw, like, RTD buses. I hate them, okay? I hate those cases because you've got governmental immunity and you got all sorts of shit, but mostly because the fucking buses all have 4K color video on them, okay? So you better know that whatever your guy is complaining of, you're going to have a full color video of by the time this thing is done. And I won't really have it when I sign them up. I've got to go on my gut feeling about these people. But I had 3 guys come into my office and claim it was a bad accident in the bus and they were hurt and they needed, I took the case. I told them, I'm going to get a video of this, so you guys better be straight up with me. When I got the video, and RTD called me and they were like, John, you want to look at the video, okay? Because they know me, and I've done enough cases with them, and so I appreciated that level of candor. They called me up and said, you want to look at this video? I'm like, send it over. They literally, the entire wreck was like this. They just shifted, right? And then they looked left and they looked right, and then they were like that. They were done in about 10 minutes. I dropped all 3 of them that moment and just said, I'm done. I'm out, okay? You go get another lawyer, do whatever you want to do. You're on your own. I'm not having any part of it. I think most lawyers would do that. There may be some that don't, but, I mean, that's the thing that legends are made of. But honestly, there's no incentive to do that because they're never going to pay on that claim.
No, I wasn't insinuating that the lawyers would do it. I'm insinuating that people would do it.
I know, but the lawyers are the the filter for that.
Yeah.
We have privilege. You can tell me anything. I'm going to see the medical records. I'm going to challenge things. I'm going to see your history. I'm going to know what's going on. Med mal. I mean, great example. I'm not filing a frivolous med mal case. I'm going to have a doctor on board. I'm going to have my standard of care expert. It's going to be reviewed and documented in the whole 9 yards. And, we used to send out tons of cases that sounded legit that we passed on because we couldn't, the standard of care docs would be like, no, not so much. And we would pass on it because we knew damn well there was going to be $200,000 of expenses and costs and depositions and experts and everything else to get to the same point, which is you lose, right? So we had no incentive to do that. But if our standard of care docs are on board and, the losses are significant and stuff, then hell yeah, we'd bring the action and do it. And we'd lose some of those, of course. I mean, juries will go the opposite way sometimes, but we never brought that case on a whim. We brought it after serious consideration with experts on board that had the same license that you had before we would ever consider, bringing that thing in court. So,
No, what the myth is, and this is what I was alluding to. Some guy claims there was a slip and fall. He says to the lawyer, hey, John, do me a favor. I want you to write a letter to King Soopers telling them that I blah, 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 and unless they give me $5,000, I'm going to take it to court.
Yeah.
That's what people thought.
They do, and they don't. Okay, people may think that, but that never happens. In fact, most of the time, King Soopers won't even respond to me until I've filed a damn lawsuit.
Hey, Tom.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
I sent you Randy's paperwork, and I sent it to Mark, too.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Okay, and then also I sent you an email.
And I called Albertsons, and they just referred it to their counsel, and they were like, we don't even respond to these things until a lawsuit's been filed.
Doc, we had a company.
10 seconds here, guys.
I'll tell you.
3-761-6400.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Listen, Randy, I read over your agreement here, your warranty work, and it says in the warranty work that the only time diagnostics are not covered, the cost of diagnostics and teardown, if the breakdown is the result of a non-covered part or condition. or if the non-covered part causes damage to a covered part. So,
and it's pretty typical for a warranty company, I don't care who it is, to say, or the dealership to say, hey, if we're not going to get paid for the teardown because it's not a warranted part when we get in there, you need to sign saying you will. That's normal.
yeah. Now, here's what I want to tell you, though. This is really important. If that charge was going to be more than $100, and I think they get plus 10%, under the Auto Repair Act in Colorado, they should have given you a written estimate, or they can't charge you more than $100 or $110 because it's 100 plus 10%, or 10% over. I don't get it. I don't get anywhere where they can just charge you arbitrarily $600.
I think all they're saying is if the warranty company doesn't cover it, we used to take engines in. So
well,
if
is that what they're saying, Randy? First, ask, is that what they're saying, Randy? That if the warranty doesn't cover it, you have to pay the $600?
No, they said I had to pay the $600 because they needed to proceed with those steps.
I find it hard to believe. The whole thing I find hard to believe. Then,
well,
send me over the work
I'm
order, and I'm going to call these
today.
guys.
I'm going to pick up the car today, and let me go pick up the car and see what the charges are, and then I will send you a copy of.
Yeah, but you shouldn't pay the charge. They should not charge you for. You can tell them under the Auto Repair Act, if there was going to be a charge more than $125, they needed to tell you in writing.
Well, they told me over the phone. They didn't tell me.
Oh, actually, they don't have to tell you in writing. I'm sorry. You have to get a written estimate unless it's after you leave. They can call you and get the time and date and manner of consent. Well, wait a minute. You just said something that just blows up your argument. They called you and said, by the way, there's going to be a $600 charge, in which you could have turned it down?
Oh, I could have turned it down, but...
Randy, hold on. So they did give you an estimate up front and told you they're going to charge you $600.
I never said they didn't. My point was that I don't feel I should be paying that fee.
Well, you should.
You
should, because you agreed to it.
No, but...
I disagree. They should not be charging him if it's under warranty.
Mark, I understand what you're saying, but okay. That was a really important part to leave out, that they told him up front there was going to be a $600 charge. Mark, it's not like they sprung it on him.
I know, but it's underhanded.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's underhand, meaning they had him over a barrel, yes, and they say, look, we're gonna charge you. Did they tell you how much did they say there's going to be a diagnostic fee, or did they tell you exactly how much?
They told me they first took in the car. They said if I didn't accept their diagnostic charge, it would be a $100 charge to get the car back without them doing anything.
You know what I do? Listen, I just thought of this.
And do you know why there would be a $100 charge without them doing anything? Because the Auto Repair Act allows them to do that.
What I would do, Randy, listen, I am not kidding. I would call up Honda. I would take this dealer out of it and call up Honda, say, I bought this certified. Here's the VIN. Here's the mileage. Here's when I bought it. I just picked it up and they charged me $600 for a broken air conditioner. What the hell's going on?
That's what I'm going to do. I saw that in the contract, and that's what I'm supposed to do. It's called Honda America, and I'm going to do that. But
did we even ask him what dealer this was?
Yeah, he
said
AutoNation.
This sounds so underhanded. It's hard to believe. Honest to God.
Mark, you ought to call over there and just say, what is the point of having a warranty? If they bring this up, Mark, tell them that in the warranty, the only time they're allowed to charge for that under the warranty is if it's an uncovered part.
Now you did bring it. He brought it back to where he bought it. Yeah.
Let me say that. Let me say something about that. You did say something that possibly, if it is a covered part, maybe that $560 won't be charged to me. Maybe they just said that in case it was
Right.
Yeah.
That could
That's
be.
exactly right.
That could be.
So go pick it up. If they charge you, you're going to send that invoice to help@troubleshooter.com, and we're going to be talking to the people.
You know,
over
Mark,
at
I think that's what's
AutoNation.
going on. I think that's what's going on. I think they called him under the Auto Repair Act. Here's what they said. We're going to have to charge you for a diagnostic fee if it turns out the warranty isn't covering it.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Mark's been saying all along.
Yeah, that is exactly why. Because it doesn't make sense that they would simply add a diagnostic fee. So Mark suspected that
we'll
that's
find
what
out
that
for sure. Come in.
Hey, you should call back and let us know, because a lot of people heard
Oh, I'm
this
going
call,
to, believe
and we
me, I'm
want to
gonna
know
call
if
you
there
back.
was some underhanded stuff or it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, for sure.
I will definitely call you back. I will send you the invoice regardless of the outcome.
And you'll buy us lunch.
Brad, what do you
And
want to
the
know about
restaurant of
homeowners' rights and squat? This thing is going on all over the country. Let me explain something. Do you know there are videos now on TikTok showing people how to become a squatter and get a place to live for at least 45 days by the time they get you out? Go ahead, Brad. What is your
Except in
question?
Florida.
What's that?
Except in Florida, DeSantis just signed an order making it easy for you to call the sheriff and have them evicted on the spot.
Okay, good. I didn't know about that. Brad, go ahead.
Yeah, how are you today, Tom?
Good, man. What's happening?
Well, what's happening, Tom, is I got these squatters across the road. Okay, first of all, my address here, which I live here on the corner.
Brad, are they in your home or are they in someone else's home?
No, they're just on a vacant lot is what they are, with their motor home.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. That's a whole different set of circumstances. We'll talk to you right after this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Some good news up on the north end of town. I-76 westbound at 74th. A recent stall has been all cleared up. Still seeing some slow traffic back from 96th. Heading out west into the high country, I-70 westbound approaching Genesee Park, exit 254. Road construction in the left lane has slow traffic back from Hogback Road. About 20 minutes of delays for folks leaving the Denver Metro into the high country. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We're still seeing a warming trend this week. Partly cloudy skies, high of 63. Those clouds rolling in this afternoon, bringing scattered showers tomorrow with a high of 59. Saturday, high 64. The current temperature in Denver is 58 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 630 KHOW.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming with members-only offers. Learn more about the new loyalty program at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Subject to terms and conditions. See Lowes.com/terms for details.
When we talk about cars, my goodness, we talk about them all the time on this show, right? You want a dependable place you can take your car. RKC Automotive. We love these guys. Ramondo and his team over on Evans west of Tejon will take care of you, honestly, with value and knowledge and experience and electrical issues, as well as also new and used cars, foreign and domestic cars, just regular maintenance, right? But they also do courtesy inspections of your entire car each time you take it in, because they don't want you to ever be met with surprises. RKC Automotive, I want you to check them out. RKC Automotive. Again, they are on Facebook, RKC Automotive. You can also call them 720-749-3965.
When you talk deep water, it's displacement. And it was just remarkable. He pulled this thing up. You know, it looks like it's 10 feet deep, but that son of a bitch right there could be 200 feet deep. It's crazy how these things just drop off. And it's like, that's how they are. It's not like they made them that way.
Sure, 10 feet off the beach, it's 65 feet deep, you know.
It's crazy.
But we don't, it's not that deep where we are, but we have channels and we have cuts that are deep. And it doesn't take that much water for those big boats. I mean, they don't draft, I mean, you're talking big boats, that's different. But the average, you know, big sport fisher or something, I mean, they're drawing 3-4 feet, you know.
No, I'm talking fucking yachts.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm talking. It's a small cruise ship.
They don't draw more than 8-9 feet.
God, that's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
That is fucking amazing.
But yeah, it's dude. I drive by, a block from my house. There's a dealership, and there's nothing on that lot that's less than about 1.2.
I figured I
And that's for an outboard center console fishing boat.
Yeah.
I hate to ask since I just took a couple weeks off, but one of the shows that I work over here for
It's crazy, man.
But dude, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I mean, there was a thing a couple weeks ago where a bunch of those guys came down with their big go fast boats and stuff, and they made a weekend out of it, and they were everywhere.
Nice shit.
If you're into that,
Yeah.
But we were back. It was windy that day, so they were not. They were on the bay side, which is the back side of where we are. So
Hey, Tommy, do you read books?
bay side.
I listen to, I do sometimes, but all of them are digital no matter what.
Yeah, like Kindle or something?
Yes.
I'm reading a book right now. I was literally crying on my run while reading this morning.
What is it?
It's called A Little Life. It's just heart-wrenching. About 4 college friends.
Oh, really?
That grow into their 40s. They're all went to Cambridge. Oh, my God, I was literally in tears on my treadmill this morning.
Why? What got you turned on to that book?
There was a lot of good reviews. And so it just came up as a suggestion, and I read the description. I've never had a book affect me like that. It's crazy. I'm only halfway through it, but I've been walking on my treadmill and reading.
It is kind of crazy. It's like, being in a neighborhood and some guy in an F1 flies by you.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
It's just crazy. But there's money.
Oh,
Those boats
right.
are
Yeah.
all-
No, fair enough. But yeah, I'm more than willing to work from 8 in the morning.
The motors
until about
themselves
3
are $250,000 on
Yeah.
a quad outboard.
Yeah.
And they're not like jalopies with big motors on the back.
Okay,
They're
sounds
pretty
good.
goddamn nice boats and stuff. So you're talking a guy with a weekend habit that's a mill 2, a mill 4, just to go fast.
I know.
On a weekend.
I know.
That's crazy to me, but that's just a very common thing down there. There's just money. It's just money. I don't know where it comes from, but there's a lot of it.
We were in an
Did you
RV
have fun
park,
in Egypt?
man. This whole trip, it was 3 weeks we took. It was last year or the year before, I don't remember.
Kelly showed me one picture. It was like you. I think it was of you and Carla with your
one of the
pyramids behind
nicest
you.
guys in the park.
How
Doesn't
was the
matter where
food?
We pull into this fucking
Really?
It's all big ass Brevos and shit.
Lake Toxaway, man. I'm like, not only that, up at the top
Was it
they
hot?
have the chalets where you have the chalet and then you have where your bus parks next to it. So not only are they $3 million buses, the chalet is $5 million. No, they're like 5,000 square foot homes they call chalets.
Right.
The guy that sold his rocket engine business to Elon Musk SpaceX. Yeah, that's his weekend place.
Nothing to do anymore.
And you sit there, and once again, I've told Tom
You guys
this.
did
it's
okay
like,
without
God,
your little
just go.
Lancy?
You think you're doing okay, and then you're
Was
like,
it a cruise,
you're such
too?
a
10
small
seconds, guys.
velocity.
Nations Forum for Women's Rights. Who are we kidding? Yeah, it really happened. Join me on Friday at 6:05.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Okay, right to the phones. And Brad said there's a vacant lot and a camper on it. And how do you know they don't have permission to be there, Brad?
Well, it's my parents' estate is what it is, and I'm taking care of it because my parents are done.
So the land belongs to your parents.
Well, it was my parents, but it's in my name and 2 other brothers'
Well,
names.
what I mean is you guys own, somebody in your family owns the property.
Right.
And
Three
you
of them do.
did not give permission to them to be there.
No, I gave them permission to be there, and they were going to be there for 90 days.
Ding, 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 ding. You gave permission.
He was a hired hand. Okay, but he was a hired hand.
You gave permission.
Okay. Right. Then 2 months after he paid me rent. He come up with this deal where I supposedly assaulted his wife, which never happened. It wasn't established by the sheriff's department.
None of that matters, Brad. You want to get rid of him, you have to go through a legal eviction process.
I realize that.
But
Tom.
it's different.
But-
Hold on, Brad. What you don't realize, it is totally different than an apartment eviction.
Why is that?
Because it's a mobile home. I'm telling you, you're not going to believe the red tape you have to go through to move that.
Well, I'm believing it. Believe me, because to me.
Now, I'm not telling you
rights
it's
whatsoever.
insurmountable, Brad. You didn't call me to get bad news. You need to, but you
No.
can't do it alone. You need to hire an attorney and get it done forthwith. The longer he stays, the more rights he will have.
That is so wrong.
Yeah, I know.
It is. I mean, I'm on Social Security. I'm on a fixed income. I cannot afford a lawyer.
Brad, I know, man.
Yeah, what they're doing is just taking advantage of the elderly, is what they're doing.
No, they're not. They're taking advantage of everyone.
Yes, they are. Yes, yeah, because they conspired to destroy me, and that's exactly what they're
No.
doing.
You're not the. What I'm trying to get at is, they're not taking advantage of just you and the elderly. This is happening all over the country, Brad.
Well, why isn't it fixed?
Well, I could give you an opinion, but then I'm going to get some hate mail.
They fixed it
I'm
in
going to
Florida.
tell you something, okay? I'm going to tell you, especially in Colorado, but this goes elsewhere, okay? This goes elsewhere. We have voted in everything that we're getting, either directly or indirectly. Every single thing we are getting, we have voted for. I'm saying we as a people, not me, not you, but that's it. That's it. Every single thing. The crime, the shoplifting, the squatting, the drugs, the free injection sites, the whatever you, just name it. Name it. You voted for it.
Well, I didn't vote for it.
Well, okay. I know what you mean. I'm not saying you personally, but Brad, I'm serious. You said this property belongs to you and your brother, your family. You got to chip in and don't try to do it alone, Brad. And don't try to do self-help. I'm going to tell you something. I know that Mark says if somebody's in my home, I'm going to call the sheriff. I'm telling you, all over the country, and Colorado's one of the worst. You're not going to, if someone moves into your house while you're on vacation, you're not going to get your house back without a court battle. Now, I'm not saying you won't get it back. You will. Now, there are tapes, presentations on YouTube and TikTok telling people how to do it. There are also ones telling people how to fight it. And we have actually I've watched YouTube videos of people getting arrested for trying to get a squatter out of their home. The homeowner got arrested.
Yeah.
I always look at it, and here's where I'm going with this. There's one thing, if you're gone for 90 days, I don't even know about that.
Mark.
But to be honest, Tom, I'm gone for a week, and I come home, and I go into my house, and all of a sudden I'm surprised by someone in there. I'm going to shoot them. I'm going to kill them, and I'm going to call it the Make My Day law because they're in my house.
Okay, but if you did that, you will be in serious, serious trouble, and I hope you don't do that. Honest to God, I hope you don't. And Mark, I'm not telling you that you're wrong for feeling that way or that you won't win ultimately.
John, you come home from a week's vacation and walk in.
It doesn't matter what John
out of the
thinks.
shower and there's a guy there.
Look, like it or not, John is a man of law. Like it or not, I mean, he can take matters into his own hands, but the law is what it is. I'm not agreeing with it. I hate even talking about it. We'll talk about it, though, coming up. I'm Tom Martino.
Saying if there's an intruder in my house, I can kill him.
But Mark, first of all, if there's no signs
Only
of threat
if you're
or
there and you fear for your life. If he's not there, you can't use that Make My Day law.
What do you mean if he's not there? This whole thing is him being there.
Mark,
No,
if
if
he's
not-
already
if
in
he's
there.
not entering your house while you're there. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
So
that's
if he's
different.
there and you come into the house, he could shoot you before you could
Mark,
shoot him.
if you
you're
walked
fucking
in
crazy.
and the guy,
I
Mark,
think you're all crazy if
John.
you believe
Mark,
that shit.
if
so
you
I go
walked
hang out
in-
at your house, and when you walk in, I can shoot you, and that's all good.
Mark,
Well,
Mark.
you can't do it the other way around.
Yes.
if you
can't
seriously,
shoot the guy for being in your house when you
Doc,
walk in
just
the
wait
door.
a sec, please. If you walk in and a guy's watching TV with his girlfriend or his friend, and they're having a few beers and they have their feet up on the furniture. No, I'm really serious now. You can say to them, of course you can say, get the hell out of my house. Of course you can. And if they leave, a lot of them will leave. They'll leave because you'll say, hey, or I'm going to call the cops. And if these guys are chicken they're going to do it, right? But here's where it won't happen. If they're emboldened and they have learned the law and they say to you, we declare, hold on, we declare this our residence, we're not leaving, not a cop in Douglas County has the authority to remove them.
What happened to your friend, the attorney that we know that was squatting in that house?
He was doing that from another freaking state. He wasn't squatting in the house. That attorney, the crazy one,
Who is that, Mark?
No, he wasn't even in the state.
Really?
Mark, who are we talking about?
Owned the house.
Who are we talking about?
He was saying that she left the home to him.
I thought he was actually in the house
No,
because he was
had
changing locks
cameras
and all that
in the
stuff.
house.
Okay.
And I think he was in Alabama.
Oh, did he ever get that resolved?
Yeah, he's got the house back, but it took fucking 6 months.
And I'm sure a lot of money.
Our old guy, Greg, who used to fly the Bolins around.
That was him?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So, Greg, listen to this.
It was a disbarred attorney.
Here's honestly where the title company screwed up. They did not wire the funds because it was a Friday. The funds did not get wired till, I guess, Monday. And they should have been wired that day. Normally, that's not a big thing, I guess. But what happened was this guy filed an injunction, somehow got it, saying that his sister or his ex-wife actually left the house to him, and there's no way it could have been sold. I forget who actually sold it.
Right.
But he was contesting the will, or he was contesting, I don't know.
That dude was a disbarred attorney or suspended attorney with a whole lot of history, and he's not a normal, rational dude.
No, but he cost this fucking guy $40,000.
I'm sure he did. You called me the night that was going down, and I was like, heck yeah, I know who that is.
That's right. And I forgot about that. I just told John this attorney's name.
Mark, the attorney, was the attorney a Colorado attorney?
Yes.
He was.
And where was he squatting? Where was he squatting?
He wasn't. That's where he wasn't squatting. It's not.
Oh.
It's not.
But
a
he
squatting.
kind of was. He was claiming that the property was owned by him,
That's
and that
right.
the other guy
But
didn't have
he
the
literally-
authority to move in or do any.
Mark,
That's
who is he?
exactly right. But he wasn't in the property.
That's as
Who is
squatting
he?
as you can get without being on the floor.
Without being on the floor.
Who is he?
I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Put it on the board. Who?
Listen, this guy will fucking sue you. So
Put it on
I'm
the
not going to
board.
say.
Put it on the board.
I'll text it to you.
Yeah.
No, just put it on the call screener.
Hey, Mark,
I mean, this guy is fucking nuts. Go ahead, baby.
Mark, Tom, I sent you guys an interesting news piece about a sheriff who told, thanks, John Libby, told homeowners to shoot and save taxpayers' money.
No, that
that's in
came
Florida.
from, that's on the Brownie Show every Friday.
No, it's true, though. This is a sheriff in, I love it. He tells citizens to shoot to kill home
He's like,
invaders.
we'd appreciate it if
save
you would.
taxpayers'
save
money.
You know.
Sheriff Grady.
But
It wasn't even Grady. It was another one down there that was like a dude got killed, and they didn't know which homeowner shot him. And so they're like, we're not exactly sure which homeowner shot him, but we appreciate you doing it, and you can absolutely do it. It saves taxpayer money. And if you want to come down, we have classes on Saturday, and we can help you save ammunition by being a better shot.
You're almost saying it like, I like it. I'm sorry. I like it.
Yeah, that's practically word for word, yeah.
But he didn't mean it. He didn't mean if you find him in your house watching TV.
Oh, yeah, he did. This
no, he
guy
didn't,
did.
Actually. No, he didn't. Did you hear what he said?
I was talking to Brownie. John and I were talking months ago about Louisiana and the hurricane. He said, go ask Michael Brown about that. So me and Michael were talking for about 10 minutes. Right after Katrina, they would stage up. The place I was looking for homes was over Pontchartrain, Lake Pontchartrain. They had snipers out there, federal government, local stuff, snipers to where all the people that shouldn't be going over the bridge weren't going over the bridge. Can you believe that shit, Tom?
Oh, my God.
If you shoot accurately and you kill
Okay,
the guy,
your first name is Ben?
you save taxpayers money. And
Yep,
I also
that's
said
it.
that, if somebody gets killed during a home invasion, the odds of them reoffending are 0, and we like those odds, which we do. And in Santa Rosa County, we have a very high percentage of the
You
population.
know what? I'm going to start
that
looking
have
in Santa
weapons
Rosa
and are
County.
promoting-
That's a home invasion while you're there.
No, it's not even a
Well,
home
it
invasion.
It was in that particular case, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm hearing is shoot people. That's basically what the sheriff's saying.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you're
saying, look, you're doing us all a favor.
You're saving us money.
Right.
Hey, forget they weren't in my home, but they were at my favorite bar.
And that's why
They were driving down my street, damn
that's
it.
why I said if you'll come to our class, you'll probably do it, for a lot less ammo. It'd be a lot cheaper, And that was Grady. They asked Grady, well, why'd you have to shoot him 168 times? And he's
'Cause
like,
we
I
ran out of
suspect they
bullets."
ran out of ammunition,
Yep.
That's a good
My
one,
man.
too.
Yeah. I remember that one too.
I suspect they ran out.
That's the best answer of all time.
Hey, Mark, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I bought maybe 2 things online in my entire life.
Yes.
And they were both tickets.
Yeah.
How do you know if a vendor is legit?
For what?
Here, for this, I was going to get a walking.
From where are you going to buy it?
I just saw that online, and I thought if it's legit, I would buy it.
That is not
What?
legit.
What?
Okay,
That is not legit for that price.
that's what I thought.
What are you
use-
looking at, though?
Use Amazon. That's
Okay.
my answer to you.
Okay.
In fact, if you want, find what you want on Amazon, and I'll just order it for you.
Okay.
And then all you got to do is you don't have to do anything. It'll just be delivered to
I can
your
do
house.
it. I can have my
10
son do
seconds
it.
here, guys.
He has an
Yep.
Amazon. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
The right way
I listen to Dan Caplis.
with Dan Caplis. Afternoons at 4 on 630 KHAL.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. This is the final hour of the show. We're going to go right to the phones. We got a lot of things going on, and I don't want to get sidetracked on the entire show, but man, every time we bring it up, it just pisses people off. And I want to make something clear. I'm not telling you what I like, what I would do, my preference. I'm not telling you any of that. I think the whole thing is just terrible. This squatting problem, in fact, if you look on my call screener right now, Suze, you can attest to this. I have under show notes a note from several days ago. I wanted to get Brad on about this because we've gotten so many inquiries about it. And that what we're talking about is squatters and what rights people have. We don't have a lot of rights. We don't. If they invade while you're in the house, you can shoot them. You can kill them. I mean, if there are signs of breaking in and they're stealing things or things are missing, you can make a case to the local police that they broke in and took that stuff. If none of that is true, then and they're sitting there watching TV and they say, we moved in here while you were at work because you said we could, or we have a right to be here, or we're a sovereign citizen. And I'm telling you, they can bogus up written contracts. They can do it by hand and claim that you signed it. Here's what else they can do. I'm looking at these cases.
I think the worst thing you could do if you came back from vacation and there's someone living in your house would be to call the cops. You just get it handled, man.
Now, the other thing is this. The other thing is some people have had, listen to this, Mark, they have had packages delivered there. So when you're out of town, a package is delivered there in their name. They come there, pick up the package, break in the house, They fix the break-in, or they don't really even break in. They just get in, and and if they do break in, they cover it up. But the point of the matter is, they've had a package delivered there. This is one of the TikTok videos. You know what's amazing to me? On a side note, do you remember that we could not post anything on Facebook or YouTube or any of the social media about boosting your immune system, not taking a vaccine, or anything to do with COVID because they said it was dangerous? But we have people on all of those telling people how to become squatters and take over people's homes. Does that sound balanced to anyone? How does that happen? How does that happen? Well, in any case, the squatter problem is real, okay? And Brad said on his property, it's vacant land, okay? It's not the home, it's a camper on vacant land. And he made the mistake of giving them permission. And because he gave them permission and then they overstayed their welcome, they're not paying anymore. Then they start accusing him of doing something to his wife. And here's the bottom line. For Brad to get them off of that property is going to be even harder than a normal squatter, because that will fall under mobile homes. Now, Ben, you have a comment. What is your comment, Ben?
Well, first let me say that I've been listening to you for over 50 years here in Colorado.
Well, it would have to be 44 and a half, but go ahead.
Not only that, he discovered you because his dad was listening.
Yeah, right. So anyway, Ben, so what's going on? What's your comment, sir?
Governor DeSantis down in Florida just a little while ago signed a law allowing all Florida citizens to kick the squatters out of their houses.
No, you're right. But Doc told us that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for them.
Love the DeSantis.
Well, I'm telling you, he does stick up for people's rights, doesn't he?
How about that sheriff down there? You guys heard this guy?
Sheriff
Play that
Grady.
real quick.
Do I have
Play that sheriff real quick.
You want me to
I thought
play
you
it?
had it ready.
I have it somewhere. I'll play, but here's the deal. I'll do it right now here somewhere if I can find it. I did have it.
Who played it before?
I did, but I don't.
Oh, I thought Dragon played it.
Well, Dragon has it handy. Dragon uses it every Friday.
This will show you the difference between Florida and Colorado. This sheriff, imagine Douglas County sheriff coming out and saying what you're going to hear. This is a real clip, man.
Do you have it?
I would tell them, if you value your life, you probably shouldn't do that in Polk County, because the people of Polk County like guns. They have guns. I encourage them to own guns, and they're going to be in their homes tonight with their guns loaded. And if you try to break into their homes to steal, to set fires, I'm highly recommending they blow you back out of the house with their guns. So leave the community alone.
Love it.
That says. Then there's another one about Santa Rosa.
Can you
County.
see Denver County guy coming out and saying that?
If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. Hopefully, you'll save the taxpayers money.
Even better. I think, honestly, if that was Denver, you know what they'd say? In fact, I think it's going on in Chicago with, like, car thefts. They were breaking into homes to steal the car keys. So the cops came out and said, the best thing you can do, this is no BS, the best thing you can do is leave your keys out front in a bowl. Then they won't break into your house.
Yeah, I know. They were actually telling you that, to do that.
They literally told the public that. It's insane.
I know. You know, nothing surprises me. Okay. So now we're going to move on to Patty, because she's been waiting a long time. Patty, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi, Patty. What's going on?
I had a contractor that was doing some work at my house, and we had a falling out, and I assume he drunk texted me because of the way the texts were coming in. I got 27 texts from him from 8 p.m. until 4:12 a.m.
So you fired him, right?
So, well, he kept threatening to come get his tools. Like, I'm not going to
But did you fire him? I need to know that. That's important.
Yeah. So we severed our agreement, and he came over the next morning and picked up his tools and was stumbling, almost fell over twice. So that's why I assume he was drunk.
Got it.
But anyway, and I felt very menaced by these text messages.
Hey, Patty, I was going to ask you that. Were the texts like coming on to you, or were they related to the project?
No, they weren't. they weren't in a sexual nature at all. Nothing like that. It was more menacing. Like
what? Give us an idea of why all of a sudden did he start drunk texting? Like what?
Okay, so what led up to this is he kept how most contractors, it always takes twice, 3 times as long to do things. Well, it was the week before Christmas, and he kept telling me my bathroom was going to be done and time for my Christmas company to come. And that morning he said, I should get the floor tile put in today. And so when he left that evening, I said, did the floor tile get put in? Oh, no, I didn't get to that. And I'm like, Kevin, you told me it was going to get done. And he went on.
Okay, but what was he texting? Let's get to that part.
I said to him, I know you're going to be working hard, but I'm also going to be cracking the whip to make sure things get done.
What was the texting about?
He was very pissed off that I said crack the whip.
Okay, now Patty, hold on a sec. I need to ask a few things. You mentioned something about a lien on your house.
Was he a person of color?
Patty?
No, he's Caucasian.
Patty, I want to ask you something about the liening part of this. Do you owe him money?
He thinks I do.
Well, have you paid for what was done?
I feel like I have, yes.
Okay. If you can get an expert to help you value what you paid and what you got, that's going to come in handy. If the guy puts a lien on your house, you can't prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
What you can do is just sit tight. The lien will go away if they don't perfect it. And if they do try to perfect it, you can then use your the defense you have to get it removed. Now, if you wanted to sell or get a loan before this whole mess was settled, you may have to either bond around it, or you could do what's called a quiet title action to sue him to get it removed. So there's a number of different options. What are you concerned about? Do you think he really will lien the place?
I don't know.
So he's got to send you an intent to lien. So that's got to show up first. It's a 10-day notice. After that, he's got 4 months. He's got 4 months to basically perfect the lien and at least get a court date and show up and prove in front of a judge that he is right. Then the lien is sitting there, and really it won't go away until you pay it or sell the property.
Okay, so I'm writing this down. A 10-day notice, which I think he sent me. He just sent me an email that said,
"No, I don't think." John, do you know if an email works? I sure don't think so.
I would send it. I would send it by registered mail.
But he already sent you a notice by email or by mail.
Email.
Yeah.
It just said, I'm going to put a lien on your house.
It's still going to give it has the same effect on her when he puts a lien on it, because they're not going to ask, did you give her a 10-day notice?
Well, it does regardless. So let's say that happens. Then what happens is they have 4 months from that period of time from the last time he was in your house. When's the last time he was in there?
December 15th was the last work he did. December 16th, he picked up his
Mark,
tools.
I think it's 4 months to file the lien, right?
No, they have 4 months. That's right. 4 months to file it from the last time they were on the property.
Right. And then he has to perfect it within how much time?
6 months.
Yeah. So he'd have to start a foreclosure.
And the 6 months doesn't add on to the 4 months. The 6 months is from the last time he was working at the property.
Now, here's the thing, Patty. Don't assume you will win if you're going to represent yourself, and here's why. We had a woman who had her face ripped off from an ugly, disgusting rip-off contractor.
It was horrible.
And she lost her home.
She sure did. And I was in court with her.
Because she insisted on representing herself.
It was horrible. They ate her alive.
Yep. And she was right.
Definitely right. I'd been to the house. There couldn't have been. The roof literally had sunlight coming through it.
Yeah, and the guys put a lien on it, but because she defended herself. Now, Mark went there to observe all this.
You're bringing back a bad memory.
No, he did. He went to observe it. Well, the judge was off base, and the attorney was off base. They were totally off base.
John, it was unbelievable.
Just because
I've never been chastised by a judge
just
in
because
my
Mark
entire
was
life.
sitting there, he was sitting there. He had every right to sit there as a friend. Every right. And they said they accused him of representing her and practicing without a license.
Let me set the tone, though, Tom. What happened was we went to lunch break. I went out and called you live on the air talking about what clowns these two attorneys are, and the judge doesn't seem to know what the hell he's doing.
Oh, that never works out
So
the
we
way
come
you
back
but the judge had the nerve to tell him he's not allowed to talk about this case on the air.
So we come back.
John,
from lunch break.
Can he issue a gag order like that just out of the blue?
Well, when you're sitting in front of him, he sure can.
I have no idea about the legalities of that. But
I come back in
I would
from
suggest
lunch.
that it's poor form to run out in the hallway. There used to be,
Just hold on. I come back in from lunch, and before they bring the jury back in, those guys want to go up and talk to the judge. So I'm sitting there. The three of them were talking, and all at the same time, they look over at me. And he pulls out a recorder and plays to the judge what I just said on the air, and the judge went ape crap.
I can imagine.
I told Tom, he's bailing my ass out.
I guess he could have done it officially. Judges can do a gag order if they think it's in the public interest, but that wasn't it. He didn't do a gag order. He accused you and me of practicing law. I wasn't even in the courtroom, and I get a letter saying that we were giving. I was giving opinions on this case on the air, and he's saying that we're trying to represent her.
We're practicing law without a license.
The guy was so full of crap. By the way, they investigated it and dropped it immediately because the judge was a moron. And so were the attorneys. They were just pissed off that we were there to watch these shenanigans as this woman lost her home. Yeah, she lost.
She did. She ended up losing the trial. It was a jury trial too. They came back. She just had no idea. She tried to call witnesses, expert witnesses. She had them there. The problem is she didn't do the paperwork.
She never endorsed them. Yeah.
She never did.
The judge
She
said they're
never
not
did
experts.
her proper civil rules of procedure. So she screwed herself.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And it cost her everything.
That's horrible.
Yep. The whole thing was horrible.
She had 3 or 4 genuine roofers there that knew where they were talking about, pictures, everything. She never turned any.
All right, break when you can, buddy.
So, Patty, you got to hire, if he puts a lien on the house, do not try to defend yourself. That was the moral of this story. I need to take this break.
Life's a constant swirl of shopping. Groceries, clothes, gifts, the occasional self-care splurge. You know how it is. That's why you should get the Drop app. With Drop, you earn points for shopping and turn those points into gift cards. Last year, I scored $150 in gift cards alone. Make sure to use code DROP23 when you sign up and get $5 in Drop points. That's DROP23. Get rewarded for shopping and download Drop now for free on the App Store or Google Play.
Okay, Made in the Shade is the place to call for window coverings. They make it so simple. A designer comes to your house with somebody to measure and price, and the designer suggests what you need and where. You can decide if you want high tech or low tech, in between tech, solar shades maybe, powered by solar, or do you want battery operated, or maybe just regular old-fashioned push and pull. No more cords, by the way. And then they have beautiful curtains. They have shutters. Whatever you want, you get a price. If you decide to go forward, they have the best installers in the business, and it's all one-stop shop, Made in the Shade. DenverShades.co. DenverShades.co. You know, I often talk about Frank Duran, the real estate man. Why? Because you will never find a better person on your side when it comes to real estate, whether you're buying or selling. Now, to get a taste of what he can do, just have him do a market analysis of your home. Don't believe people when they tell you what they think your house will sell for because they want to get the listing. They might lie to you, exaggerate, or they don't know how to get the most. Frank Duran will show you his stats and go over 30 years of experience to price your home. Now, you don't have to list it, but he'll tell you what he truly believes it will sell for, and he's usually right. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. No obligation, market analysis. 303-920-1622.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you're right.
You kind of just notice, you do it enough times, and then you just kind of notice that all of a sudden,
gulp.
Deputy standing behind you, you're like, okay, I know where this is going.
Tom actually said something pretty funny about that, though. So he wasn't even there. He was on the radio, and we weren't talking legalities. We were just talking what's going on. I'm observing. And sure enough, not only do I get it, they came after me big time, man. The Bar Association. But they go after Tom, saying that he was practicing law without a license.
On the radio.
I loved it.
Because I gave a comment on the radio.
Oh, what I was going to tell you before, we had one that the statute of limitations ran on it, but they hired an attorney and threatened us big time. And we just sat back, didn't do a damn thing. But there was other powers to be that I'm not going to talk about.
And their moron attorney did not even know that he was coming up on the statute.
Yeah, you know why? Because it was probably one of those, pay me $500 and I'll be on retainer forever.
Yeah. Like Doc's saying, just make it go away,
No. Yeah. No, you don't do shit.
Right.
It's like, all right, go ahead. I want to see you tell this person.
Oh, but not only,
but
Mark, that wasn't the only
to spend
thing.
the money.
That wasn't the only thing. Our attorney wrote a letter saying, okay, we dare you, and this is what you're going to find when you do it.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. We did. In fact, I think he even did that as a favor, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, it turned out to be, didn't it? Yep.
That dude I sent you, Tom, just flew a little too close to the sun.
But I never heard of him, by the way.
Really?
No.
Oh, he was on the news. Remember that case that that guy was coming down the hill out of off of Floyd Hill in the semi and hit that bridge and it burned up a whole bunch of people.
Killed a lot of people.
He represented that dude in court at least for a while and got a whole bunch of media attention. But he also used to represent a lot of marijuana businesses and stuff in the beginning of that whole evolution. And so he got a lot of airtime, kind of flew a little too close to the sun. Eventually all of his stuff caught up with him and he was suspended a number of times and then got caught practicing.
Where does he live now?
I don't know. Mark said somewhere out of state, but I don't know.
Greg would know. I think it was like Mississippi, Alabama. You're getting the idea, somewhere there.
Yeah.
And he had cameras because, see, the whole thing is so crazy. It's his ex-wife, but they're still friends.
Your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino. Patty has a few more questions. Kenny, hang on about your car, and we also have room for other calls, and I have a text for John. Okay, Patty, go ahead. You had a few more questions about that situation with the contractor. Go ahead.
Clear on. What did you mean? What's meant by perfected? I don't know what
perfected. All that means is this: a lien is an accusation that you owe, and they preserve the right to take it to freeze your property. That's all it is. It's not a foregone conclusion.
It's a judgment, basically. They got to win in court.
No, the lien is not a judgment. The lien is an accusation.
She's asking the perfection.
Perfecting it would be getting that lien into a judgment and then foreclosing. That's full perfection.
Okay, so that would include the court proceeding and stuff.
Yeah, everything. Yep.
Okay.
Now, before they can get a judgment, you would have your day in court.
John?
It means a little bit different than that. It means that they went through the proper steps to put you on notice and then file that lien against your property. That's really what it means by perfection, is that it's actually been filed and it's a lien that would show up on a public record search of your property.
Okay.
So it's not just a fax to you saying, hey, you owe me the money. It's going the extra step of actually getting that thing filed on your property as a lien.
John, I want to make this clear though, because I want to make sure I have the right understanding. So if I do that, if a contractor does that and went through the proper procedure, what is it called when he goes to get a judgment? Isn't that called perfecting it too, or not?
Well, I don't think he needs a judgment to actually foreclose on the lien. It has the same force of law being a proper.
Okay.
Wait. Listen, he's got 6 months from the last time, whether it's a service or it's supplied there, to actually win in court. Is my understanding.
No, but you're right. But he still has to go through the notice and the filing and all that stuff. My point is that when he goes through the notice and filing and all the stuff that the statute requires, then it becomes a perfected
lien.
Lien, mechanics lien, whatever it may be. But if he wants to foreclose that lien, he's just like any other lien holder. He can do that.
And then it's up to you in a hearing to show it's not valid.
That's exactly right.
Got it. Okay. So you don't have to get a judgment first and then foreclose?
Correct.
Okay. Now.
So what was the 4 months? I think Mark said something about...
In order to actually place the lien, if he waited more than 4 months from the end of work, he loses his right to place the lien.
Okay.
But he could, just like we're all saying, though, he could still place it. But if you did end up in court because he's trying to cash in on it or foreclose on the property, then your defense would be it was 5 months.
It's almost like a statute of limitations. It says you have to bring an action before 2 years. It's not to say that you can't walk down to the courthouse and file a lawsuit at 5 years, but they can immediately file a motion to dismiss it because it was after the statute of limitations.
Debt collectors a lot of times will realize the statutes run, but they'll still literally sue somebody, not file the paperwork.
Just to scare them.
Just to scare them into maybe some of them get scared and actually pay up. So
what's worse is they get scared and make a payment and it resurrects the entire thing.
And people don't know that.
Exactly.
Yeah, really, a debt collector, let's say it's outside of the statute, let's say it's 5 years and 1 day, and they call you up and talk you into paying $2 on $100,000, you owe the whole $100,000 again.
Yep. Okay, we have to move on to Kenny. Go ahead, Kenny. What's going on with you?
Well, I'm trying to find out how do I find out what my cars are really worth? Especially for insurance purposes, because, maybe I should just get liability on them if they're not worth very much.
KBB.com.
Well, there's all kinds of places to get. I mean, there's all kinds of places to get value.
Even the question itself, Kenny, doesn't make any sense.
In fact, the insurance companies, Kenny, will put a value on it.
Well, they will.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is there's not much point in having full coverage on it if it's only worth $1,000.
Okay, well, let me give you an idea because I already ran your cars for you. Okay, you asked about your cars. Okay, the 08 Hyundai Accent ranges from $3,700 to $7,500, depending on the mileage and the condition.
Right.
Okay, 37 to 75. Now your Corolla ranges from 6,300 to 11,500. There's a big range. Now, the average of both of them.
I found out last night it was like $600 to $6,000. I'm like, I got to get closer than that.
The average for the 08 is $6,000. The average for the Corolla, the 10, is $8,800.
Hey, Kenny, would you let's say they were only worth $600? Would you just get the state minimal? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I guess
no, he's talking about collision coverage. He's not talking about liability.
Okay.
Well, the state minimums only are for liability.
Well, I'm asking Kenny what he's thinking because it just brings up, a learning experience with John.
Yeah, I want to chime in on this. So here's the way to look at it. Now, I have a ton of cases where people made this same exact decision and decided to just get liability. And their logic for that is, well, the car's not worth that much, and if somebody totals it, then their insurance will buy me another car. And that is a fallacy that rarely plays out, okay? Here's the way I look at it. If you can stand that car just disappearing overnight, and you're not going to be in a position where you have no way to get to work or you have no way to go pick your kids up. I mean, if you truly can just write a check and buy another car, then maybe you're a candidate that would be okay with liability. But let me tell you, man, 2/3 of the people out there on the road have just liability or no insurance at all. So you're talking minimal limits and stuff. So if your car has value and you're not in a position to just write a check for it in the case of it disappearing, then I don't think you should self-insure by getting liability
John changed my
alone.
mind a bit about this. I used to recommend if your car's not worth that much, don't spend the money on collision. And then one day John was on the air doing one of his commercials, his where we do a question and answer. And he brought out that some of these older cars are so cheap to buy collision for that really it is not a bad idea in some cases, because even though they're old and not worth much, let's say they're worth $5,000. Well, to get collision on that won't be a lot of money.
Because they're only worth $5,000.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
And
I would encourage you to price it out both ways, Kenny, and actually get quotes and find out exactly what the investment is for that coverage, and then compare that to your ability to just break out a check and buy another car overnight so that you're not without transportation.
We're working on it with $500 deductible, $1,000 deductible, and liability.
Sure.
But I guess my question was, what are these stupid cars worth? What you just told me was like twice as much as what we thought, what we looked up.
How many miles in your car?
Used cars are worth so
And
much.
it's got 150,000.
Okay, well, then they'd be on the lower end. They would be on the lower end.
Right.
So as I said, you would be probably around 6,000 for the Corolla, and you would be around 4,000 for the Hyundai Accent.
All right, break when you can, buddy.
So, well, that gives me something to think about, and Compass is working on it as well.
Now, you can always call Compass Insurance. We highly recommend Compass Insurance Group. They're great people, and they will do a free analysis of what you have and what it will cost. 303-996-9000. More coming up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by try the new limited edition Orange Dreamsicle Frosty at Wendy's.
New slowdowns on the south end of town through the Tech Center, I-225 southbound at I-25. A crash reported. We're seeing slow traffic back from the spillway, about 10 minutes of delays. I-25 northbound, some usual slowdowns into the downtown area between 6th and Colfax. Heading out west for folks heading to the high country, I-70 westbound at Lookout Mountain Road, exit 256. A crash in the right lane has slow driving back from Hogback. We're seeing about a 15-minute delay through the high country area. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies, high of 63 this afternoon, nice and warm, overnight low of 32. Tomorrow, chance of scattered showers with a high of 59. The current temperature in Denver is 58 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 6:30 KHOW.
Try the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty at Wendy's. It's like walking down recent memory lane. To have Orange Dreamsicle Frosty in our timeline is truly something special, and we shouldn't let the moment pass us by. And be quick, it's only available for a limited time.
So Genesis is the company I always tell you about for the exterior parts of your home, from the roofing to the siding, windows, doors, even stucco, by the way. And what they can do is all of your insurance damage, if you have like hail damage, wind damage, whatever, on the outside of your house, they can do it all, including the painting and the finishing work on one invoice, one point of contact. They can also do your home improvements, of course, with the very same stuff. And some people are choosing to get rid of siding nowadays and go with stucco. They can do that too. They are stucco experts. Genesis Total Exteriors.com. The Art of Granite will take your phone call right now and give you a price on the phone for whatever countertops you want, whether it's granite or any natural stone or man-made material. I think they do everything but concrete. They really do. And there are some concrete countertops, but they do everything but that. The Art of Granite is going to give you a choice. You want a free backsplash, maybe a free premium edge treatment, maybe a free kitchen sink. You want 15% off the job, or do you want to buy cabinets and get 25% off? All of that can be told to you on the phone. You can get a price right now. 303-386-5919, theartofgranite.com.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes.
And they
Can
didn't
you
take it.
forward me that email with the code? I have
Didn't they
about
take
30
something, though, that
files
was
I need
weird,
to
like not
upload
worth
to the
much?
portal for Eric Reinemer, and I need the code from your email. If that's how you want to do it, because it's about 30 files.
I'm going to give them to you right now.
Okay.
I want to, as long as this is what you have to do for them. I hate to. I'm faxing it to you right now. Texting it.
Okay.
Here's what you have to do, Suze. I don't know, when you go on that portal, what I do is, so they group together, like you put labels so obvious, like if it's for Troubleshooter, make sure it's in the Troubleshooter folder, not my personal one. You'll find it.
Sure.
But then group them like this, like
happen to
whatever
be
you're
golf
doing,
clubs,
just
right?
make the label obvious.
It's very obvious. Okay.
Thanks.
Can you imagine Doc on the lam? You know what's amazing to me? The people that get caught on big crimes like bank robbery or murder, because they end up sitting at a bar somewhere, or they're sitting in a jail cell for something, and they're like bragging about it. It's crazy, man.
Hey, man, what'd you do to get here? You know, what are you in for?
Next thing you know, that same guy's sitting on the witness stand for the DA.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What call was he called about?
What are you talking about?
The subpoena Doc got.
Oh, it was just it's some lady that called up that said that her house or her apartment wasn't livable. His testimony would be nothing but hearsay. It's ridiculous to even bring him in.
But who subpoenaed him?
Her, the woman that's.
Oh no, we got to quash that. I got to find out more about that.
Just ask. I just found out about it right now.
Yeah, well, we need to get a copy of that. We can't have that.
Yeah, do you have?
Did you waive service? Did you waive service?
I don't know. No.
Then they have to be served to be valid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy, I just emailed you and Mark both about that.
Just send Tom the. Do you even have the subpoena?
Yeah.
Oh, send Tom a picture of it.
Yeah, if they didn't
I don't even know what you could bring to it.
If they didn't serve it, you could lawfully ignore it. If you call her and say, what the hell, she may send over a process server to actually serve it, you know?
Yeah.
So then you would have to show up.
Right.
Did you even go to the apartment?
What is your first name?
I think she misunderstands what I can say.
Anthony, in a sentence or less, what would you like to talk to Tom about on the show today?
Was it on the air or on a phone call with you?
It was both. She came on the air.
Got it.
And then
just shit like that, just send us the info as soon as you
Just widely known as an infestation expert, you know?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Known far and wide.
Hotel room for the night. She had nowhere to go.
You put her up in a
listen
hotel?
through the phone.
Yeah. She was crying. She had nowhere to go. Her dogs. I said, look, just find a hotel, and I'll pay for one night. And I thought it was being nice about it.
Yeah.
Because we've done that on the show.
Yeah, of course. I think what's going on is Doc is practicing talk show hosting without a license.
I think you're right. Unauthorized practice.
I'm going to be
hostages.
Unauthorized.
Yeah. Ryan's co-host.
I'll tell you how crazy that was. I had a
TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. John Fuller. Oh, let me grab this. Anthony, what is your issue? Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm sorry, say that once more.
Yeah, what's going on, Anthony? How can we help you?
Yeah, I don't want to take up an awful lot of your time if there's not an issue here, but in October of last year, I was digging a post. I was replacing a fence post in my yard. I took out the old post and I dug in the exact same spot, only I went a couple inches deeper, I reckon, and I hit my gas line. I did not pull a permit because I was pulling an existing post, or I didn't call for locates because I was digging out an existing post and would never, ever have expected to hit my gas line or any other line. At any rate, so maybe I don't have a leg to stand on here.
I can tell you before you go on, you don't, because locates are not just for left and right. They're also for up and down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got you.
If here's the way it is. You are responsible for anything you hit unless it's off the easement. And I mean way off the easement, and they just haphazardly put it down there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it way off the
you
easement?
Know what? No. They got, you know what? I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm a contractor myself.
How much are they charging you?
You know what? This is the issue I'm having. They're charging me. It started out at $2,900. I kind of complained. They dropped it down to $2,600. And out of that $2,600, $2,400 is labor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Honestly, it's kind of cheap, guys.
Yeah, that's true. What makes you surprised that a gas line would be mostly labor? What makes you, I mean, pipe doesn't cost anything.
Didn't the fire department show up as well?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, this happened at my house, and let me tell you, it cost me a hell of a lot more than that.
Did you hit the line, Mark?
No, I hired a guy that did our fence when we first moved in.
Why didn't he call?
He did call. In fact, not only did he call, I called. They came out and marked it. The contractor that built my house, in 2001, this happened 5 years ago, put the gas line in the completely wrong place.
Yeah, but that's what a locate does. It tells you where.
The locate had it 100% wrong. It wasn't even close. Instead of teeing off of the neighbor behind me and coming to my house, they teed off to the neighbor beside me.
But hold on. Okay, I just wanted to tell you something. When they locate, you know how they locate a gas line, right?
Yeah, they have that little machine thing that tells it's under there.
They have a tracer wire on all gas line.
Yes, and they walk by with that like a metal detector or whatever it is.
There's only two things that could have gone wrong there.
Yeah.
Their machine was broke, or they were stupid, or there was no tracer wire.
You totally missed what I said. They, instead of going from the house behind me, which was on the plans, they went from the house beside me. They ran two gas lines, but only connected one. So they traced the one that was the bridge to nowhere.
Oh, when they traced that, they believed, okay, we got your gas line.
Not only that, on the actual plot or whatever it's called for my property, that's also where the gas line is shown. So everything was wrong. But my fence guy hit it with his post hill digger. The fire department had to come out. They turned it off. And I'm thinking at this time, because I don't realize what happened with the two gas lines, is that his insurance is going to cover all this, and he screwed up. But sure enough, after we found out what happened, it was my problem. I mean, there was no one from me to go after.
You're right, because the locate company thought when they located a gas line, that was your gas line.
So now it cost me about $4,500. The part I remember about it more than anything was it was about $1,000 in gas. $1,000 in gas.
Wow.
But they said we're lucky the whole place didn't blow up.
So, Anthony, you're going to have to pay it. You understand, right?
Well, let me ask you one real quick question, and then I'm going to let it go, and gladly I will. Yes. I did get kind of a breakout of their costs and their employees, and they call them fitters.
Anthony, they're going to bill you whatever they want to bill you.
Hold on. Anthony, why do you think, what are you going to save by nickel and diming this bill? What are you going to save? Tell me what you dispute. Go ahead.
This happened in October of last month. I'm being billed 5 hours being billed 5 hours in December also. I don't get that part.
I have no idea what that is. What do you mean 5 hours in December? What did they do in December?
I have no clue. That's what I want to know.
Well, ask them. I have no clue either. I mean, when did the break happen?
In October.
Okay, they must have come out in December to do something, but just ask them. Listen, they're not looking to make a big profit on this deal. They really aren't. I would just ask them, what did you do in December? I thought you just came out once and fixed it. That's what I would do. We got more coming right up.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by MSU Denver.
New slowdowns on the south end of town through the Tech Center. I-225 southbound at I-25. A crash reported. We're seeing slow traffic back from the spillway, about 10 minutes of delays. I-25 northbound, some usual slowdowns into the downtown area between 6th and Colfax. Heading out west for folks heading to the high country, I-70 westbound at Lookout Mountain Road, exit 256. A crash in the right lane has slow driving back from Hogback. We're seeing about a 15-minute delay through the high country area. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies, high of 63 this afternoon, nice and warm, overnight low of 32. Tomorrow, chance of scattered showers with a high of 59. The current temperature in Denver is 58 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 630 KHOW.
Calling all change makers and trailblazers. At MSU Denver, you'll discover your future. Earn your degree online or on campus. Flexibility is key. We are the change makers. MSU Denver.
Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. The name says it all. I know Jarish and Josh and Gary and the whole team up there, and they truly have helped me planning retirement. And, you know, I started late in life, but I had a lot of elements, a 401k and an IRA, some other stuff. But they showed me how to turn that into 3 buckets, one for safety, one for income, and one for growth. And what they do is they truly have this handled. I mean, they know what to point you to and where you need help when it comes to retirement. There's so many elements, including insurance and estate planning and all of that. And of course, they use people on a referral list, but they put it all together. Their fees are so small compared to what they save you, and they show you that. Why don't you meet with them and find out what they can do for you? They're sponsors of this show, and I truly am a client. rpcenter.com. That's rpcenter.com. Give them a call for a meeting or go to their website. It's 970-663-3211. Lazy Days RV. The name says it all, Lazy Days. That's what's happening when you have an RV, and you can get any size RV, any kind RV, new and used from the RV Authority, lazydays.com, and a dependable place to get your RV service. Don't try taking it to just some place where they don't have the proper equipment to fix everything on that RV. Lazy Days RV has a beautiful maintenance facility at I-25 and exit 240 on the frontage road just south of that exit on the east side. Give them a call at any time, 303-453-1111, lazydays.com.
And, you know, these morons think you're out blasting people or something, so they call us. So he goes, if you would just call up non-emergency if you're going to be shooting and just say, hey, you know, I'm going to be out target practicing for a few hours. And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, yeah, I'll do that, but it's like, it's kind of crazy.
Stupid, but
it makes sense.
Exactly what the problem is today, along with a good way for them to look you up and ready.
Just a bit, you know. But hey, if my house was fully engulfed, actually, who I'm mostly pissed off is my neighbors that called in and said it was fully engulfed.
They should have called you.
It was not, you know.
And they left you sitting there in your fully engulfed house.
Right, you know. How about coming and saving my ass? Okay,
I know, that's the best.
You know, instead of just going, hey, honey, do you think we should call? Let's call, but we got lunch to make, okay? You know.
Did you get along with them, or do you think it was a ball?
Yeah, no, it was fine, but like come over and maybe see if you need to save me or something. I mean, we live out in the country. That's what you do, right?
Sound good? I'll see what I can do
they
to
didn't
help
do
you out, man.
anything because I didn't do anything wrong. I was fully within my rights, and I had water there. I mean, everything was cool.
Maybe there's a trip charge.
No, they were like, you're good, man. But we've had houses burned down. We used to have horse property and stuff, and the neighbors kind of kick in. Like we go get their horses and
yeah, of course,
you know, bring them
I'll be
over and
looking
stuff.
for it.
And yeah,
Bye,
that's just
mister.
what you do. You don't just call and be like, keep driving.
Call the next day. Oh, you're still alive. I
couldn't help but notice your house was on fire. Are you okay?
No, I love our, the one neighbor is moving out. They got divorced, but God, I had best neighbors. We were on a bus trip, and the neighbor behind us calls up and goes, well, you got a big old buck dead in your pasture out there, and the animals are starting to eat it and shit. So she's basically saying, hey, you need to get that taken care of. And we're 1,000 miles away.
Coyotes will take care of it in about 3 days.
So I call up neighbor Dave, and He went over there, man. Hacksaw, couple hefty bags, took it all apart, put it in my trash can, put the trash can out. That was that. But I mean, really, that's a good neighbor, man.
Yeah. No, that's good.
It's not. That's a good neighbor.
We have some.
Was he a State Farm agent?
No.
We have some great neighbors where we live right now too.
They're hard to find, man.
Just great people. I mean, it's just a fluke, but it's in that retirement community. So everybody's kind of been there, done that. They're all
laid back.
They're all laid back. The kids are all gone. I mean, they're all at that stage of life where they're comfortable.
They're not worried about feeding themselves or where they're living.
It makes it so pleasant when you have
It really does.
I had a neighbor like that with my Cherry Hills house, and they would put out plants for me, do my backyard.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
goes to
ours
the-
will call us, and I mean they'll let you know if anything's going on. You know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then the only thing they don't do is shovel snow for me, which I don't understand that.
I do for both my neighbors. I don't shovel
Well,
it,
I
but
used to when I had a Bobcat and
Yeah,
I lived in the
exactly.
country. I'd go do that, but I always had like a Bloody Mary and a.
Oh, you can't snowplow without a drink.
Exactly.
10 seconds, guys.
Give stoners a heart attack. Stunning new data on how dramatically marijuana use can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Join me at 4.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kent, what about your tow bill? What's going on? If it's too long, we're going to have to continue it. What's going on, bro?
Try to make it real quick. First time caller, appreciate it.
Thank you,
Entering
Ken.
the express lane outside authorized access zone, and I'm in a rental car I brought in from Arizona, and I never even knew about it. They have 20 days to contest it. I pay mine whenever I have that happen. I immediately pay it. But this one's $75, and it pops up to 100.
Yeah, you were crossing the lines, brother. You were playing loosey
But
goosey.
it went through a rental car, so he said he would have paid it.
They pick it up. Yes, but I actually pay for it. But
No, but because it took so long, it's more than you would have paid normally.
Double. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. You only get that period of time.
And
never knew about it. They mail me.
It's
mail 'em
pretty
right
new.
there
They
tonight.
only pass that.
Now,
We've
hold on,
talked
hold
about
on.
it.
No,
It's not long ago.
Kent's not even disputing that part. He's disputing the fact that the rental car company took so long to get to it. Is that right?
I don't think that matters.
Well,
yeah, they have to give it to the corporate, and then corporate gets in touch
right.
with me.
So that's right. So I don't think I think that's on you right now. I think that even though it's more than it normally would be, you're trying to make the argument it wouldn't have been had they done it quicker, or was. But
I'd make the argument he should have told the rental car company when he brought it back what he did then.
Yeah, but no matter what, even if he did, it would have never been paid on time. That's the way all rental cars, though. That's the way it works. Except in California, the Orange County toll roads and California toll roads have an account that you log on to that gets associated. It's a long story. You can go on within 7 days. So when I get home from California, I go on and simply pay whatever I racked up. It's a weird system, but you don't have to wait, and they don't have that system here. So.
Hey, did you guys see where if you drive into Manhattan now, $15?
What?
Tom, can you believe it?
What?
$15
just to drive there.
To drive into Manhattan.
Oh well.
$15.
Nothing surprises me anymore. Hey, John Fuller, really quickly here. I don't know if we even have time, but if somebody wants to know if somebody's fixing his car at my house in the garage and it falls off the jack and hits his leg, can he put a claim into my homeowner's policy or sue me?
He's going to have to. Yeah, I mean, you could put a claim in for anything. Whether or not they pay it, I think it's going to be a different analysis. Some of it may go back to that premises liability stuff that we talked about before, and the owner's awareness of the dangerous condition becomes an issue. So I don't know how successful that would be, but they can always put a claim in.
John Fuller, myaccidentlawyer.co. Remember, 303 Martino. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Follow Tom Martino at